comfortable 46-14 win over York Knights. They took them a harsh lesson in their newly promoted campaign, but Bradford got a win on the board. And they marked their first Super League home match for 12 years with an emphatic 28-10 win over Catalans, with tries from Andy Eckers, Waka Blake and Caleb Akins added to by 3 penalty goals by Rowan Mills for a 24-0 half-time lead. Blake then scored again, with Catalans unable to compete on their travels. Elsewhere, into tennis, Ukraine's Alina Svitolina upset world number 4 Coco Gauff to set up a final against Jessica Pegula at the Dubai Tennis Championships. American Pegula was the first to win her semi-final, fighting back from a disastrous opening set and break of serve in the second to defeat compatriot Amanda Anisimova 1-6, 6-4, 6-3. Gauff had a chance to make it an All-American final, but Svitolina recorded a 4-6, 6-7, 6-4 in an epic encounter that lasted over 3 hours. Elsewhere in boxing, Britain's Conor Benn has left Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing organisation to join Dana White's Zuffa Boxing promotional company. The 29-year-old had been in Matchroom since turning professional and beat long-term rival Chris Eubank back in November. In a statement on Instagram, Bensley was filled with excitement and hunger, but he has been criticised for the conduct in which he left Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. Elsewhere, into football, Yuki Oshashi's headed goal deep into stoppage time snatched a vital 3 points for Blackburn in their fight for Championship survival as they beat Lancashire rivals Preston in Michael O'Neill's first home game as Rovers boss. He came off the bench to apply the winning touch from Erin Cashin's deep cross in the last 5 of added minutes at Ewood Park in a match that seemed destined to end goalless. Elsewhere, Igor Tudor said he's 100% convinced they will avoid relegation from the Premier League. Spurs are 16th in the table, only 5 points above third bottom West Ham, with 12 games remaining. Elsewhere, in other news of football, Neymar, the Brazilian striker, said he is considering retirement at the end of the year. The 34-year-old, whose £200 million move from Barcelona to Paris Saint-Germain in 2017 remains the highest paid for a player, has been blighted by injuries in recent seasons, but he hopes to play for his country in the World Cup this summer. He rejoined his boyhood club Santos from Al Hilal in January. He's had an injury-hampered first year, but he's hoping to push on. But he says he doesn't know what the future holds after the end of this year. Elsewhere then, into news in cricket, and England Limited Overs captain Harry Brooks said it would be a shame if Pakistan players were excluded from playing in the 100 this year. Reports suggest that Pakistan players are not being considered by the 4 Indian-owned sides for the auction, which will take place on the 11th and 12th of March. Brook insists he hopes that everyone can involve to bolster the competition. That's all then for the latest headlines. We'll have more news later. Here are our latest sporting headlines. I'm Tom Hill. We'll start with news in Super League, and St Helens gave new coach Paul Rowley his first Super League win in a hectic, breathless encounter with Lee Leopards at the Brewdog Stadium as they ran out 2018 winners. Lee, after beating Leeds Rivals in the opener last week, twice led, but in the end couldn't get over the line. Saints have won the game despite losing Johnny Lomax to a broken arm. It was a real battle on home soil. Leeds responded from their opening round defeat with a comfortable 46-14 win over York Knights. They took them a harsh lesson in their newly promoted campaign, but Bradford got a win on the board. And they marked their first Super League home match for 12 years with an emphatic 28-10 win over Catalans, with tries from Andy Eckers, Waka Blake and Caleb Akins added to by 3 penalty goals by Rowan Mills for a 24-0 half-time lead. Blake then scored again, with Catalans unable to compete on their travels. Elsewhere, into tennis, Ukraine's Alina Svitolina upset world number 4 Coco Gauff to set up a final against Jessica Pegula at the Dubai Tennis Championships. American Pegula was the first to win her semi-final, fighting back from a disastrous opening set and break of serve in the second to defeat compatriot Amanda Anisimova 1-6, 6-4, 6-3. Gauff had a chance to make it an All-American final, but Svitolina recorded a 4-6, 6-7, 6-4 in an epic encounter that lasted over 3 hours. Elsewhere in boxing, Britain's Conor Benn has left Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing organisation to join Dana White's Zuffa Boxing promotional company. The 29-year-old had been in Matchroom since turning professional and beat long-term rival Chris Eubank back in November. In a statement on Instagram, Bensley was filled with excitement and hunger, but he has been criticised for the conduct in which he left Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. Elsewhere, into football, Yuki Oshashi's headed goal deep into stoppage time snatched a vital 3 points for Blackburn in their fight for Championship survival as they beat Lancashire rivals Preston in Michael O'Neill's first home game as Rovers boss. He came off the bench to apply the winning touch from Erin Cashin's deep cross in the last 5 of added minutes at Ewood Park in a match that seemed destined to end goalless. Elsewhere, Igor Tudor said he's 100% convinced they will avoid relegation from the Premier League. Spurs are 16th in the table, only 5 points above third bottom West Ham, with 12 games remaining. Elsewhere, in other news of football, Neymar, the Brazilian striker, said he is considering retirement at the end of the year. The 34-year-old, whose £200 million move from Barcelona to Paris Saint-Germain in 2017 remains the highest paid for a player, has been blighted by injuries in recent seasons, but he hopes to play for his country in the World Cup this summer. He rejoined his boyhood club Santos from Al Hilal in January. He's had an injury-hampered first year, but he's hoping to push on, but he insists he doesn't know what the future holds after the end of this year. Elsewhere then, into news in cricket, and England limited overs captain Harry Brooks said it would be a shame if Pakistan players were excluded from playing in the 100 this year. Reports suggest that Pakistan players are not being considered by the 4 Indian-owned sides for the auction, which will take place on the 11th and 12th of March. Brook insists he hopes that everyone can involve to bolster the competition. That's all then for the latest headlines. We'll have more news later. Here are our latest sporting headlines. I'm Tom Helm. We'll start with news in Super League, and St Helens gave new coach Paul Rowley his first Super League win in a hectic, breathless encounter with Lee Leopards at the Brewdog Stadium as they were out 2018 winners. Lee, after beating Leeds Rivals in the opener last week, twice led, but in the end couldn't get over the line. Saints even won the game despite losing Johnny Lomax to a broken arm. It was a real battle on home soil. Leeds responded from their opening round defeat with a comfortable 46-14 win over York Knights. They topped them a harsh Lesham in their newly promoted campaign, but Bradford got a win on the board. And they marked their first Super League home match for 12 years with an emphatic 28-10 win over Catalans, with tries from Andy Eckers, Wacker Blake and Caleb Akins added to by 3 penalty goals by Rowan Mills for a 24-0 half-time lead. Blake then scored again, with Catalans unable to compete on their travels. Elsewhere, into tennis, Ukraine's Elina Svitolina upset world number 4 Coco Gauff to set up a final against Jessica Pegula at the Dubai Tennis Championships. American Pegula was the first to win her semi-final, fighting back from a disastrous opening set and break of serve in the second to defeat compatriot Amanda Anisimova 1-6, 6-4, 6-3. Gauff had a chance to make it an All-American final, but Svitolina recorded a 4-6, 6-7, 6-4 in an epic encounter that lasted over 3 hours. Elsewhere in boxing, Britain's Conor Benn has left Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing organisation to join Dana White's Zuffa Boxing promotional company. The 29-year-old had been in Matchroom since turning professional and beat long-term rival Chris Eubank back in November. In a statement on Instagram, Bensley was filled with excitement and hunger, but he has been criticised for the conduct in which he left Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. Elsewhere, into football, Yuki Osahashi's headed goal deep into stoppage time snatched a vital 3 points for Blackburn in their fight for Championship survival as they beat Lancashire rivals Preston in Michael O'Neill's first home game as Rovers boss. He came off the bench to apply the winning touch from Erin Cashin's deep cross in the last 5 of added minutes at Ewood Park in a match that seemed destined to end goalless. Elsewhere, Igor Tudor said he's 100% convinced they will avoid relegation from the Premier League. Spurs are 16th in the table, only 5 points above third bottom West Ham, with 12 games remaining. Elsewhere, in other news of football, Neymar, the Brazilian striker, said he is considering retirement at the end of the year. The 34-year-old, whose £200 million move from Barcelona to Paris Saint-Germain in 2017 remains the highest paid for a player, has been blighted by injuries in recent seasons, but he hopes to play for his country in the World Cup this summer. He rejoined his boyhood club Santos from Al Hilal in January. He's had an injury-hampered first year, but he's hoping to push on, but he insists he doesn't know what the future holds after the end of this year. Elsewhere then, into news in cricket, and England limited overs captain Harry Brooks said it would be a shame if Pakistan players were excluded from playing in the 100 this year. Reports suggest that Pakistan players are not being considered by the 4 Indian-owned sides for the auction, which will take place on the 11th and 12th of March. Brook insists he hopes that everyone can involve to bolster the competition. That's all then for the latest headlines. We'll have more news later. Here are our latest sporting headlines. I'm Tom Helm. We'll start with news in Super League, and St Helens gave new coach Paul Rowley his first Super League win in a hectic, breathless encounter with Lee Leopards at the Brewdog Stadium as they were out 2018 winners. Lee, after beating Leeds Rivals in the opener last week, twice led, but in the end couldn't get over the line. Saints even won the game despite losing Johnny Lomax to a broken arm. It was a real battle on home soil. Leeds responded from their opening round defeat with a comfortable 46-14 win over York Knights. They topped them a harsh Lesham in their newly promoted campaign, but Bradford got a win on the board. And they marked their first Super League home match for 12 years with an emphatic 28-10 win over Catalans, with tries from Andy Eckers, Wacker Blake and Caleb Akins added to by 3 penalty goals by Rowan Mills for a 24-0 half-time lead. Blake then scored again, with Catalans unable to compete on their travels. Elsewhere, into tennis, Ukraine's Elina Svitolina upset world number 4 Coco Gauff to set up a final against Jessica Pegula at the Dubai Tennis Championships. American Pegula was the first to win her semi-final, fighting back from a disastrous opening set and break of serve in the second to defeat compatriot Amanda Anisimova 1-6, 6-4, 6-3. Gauff had a chance to make it an All-American final, but Svitolina recorded a 4-6, 6-7, 6-4 in an epic encounter that lasted over 3 hours. Elsewhere in boxing, Britain's Conor Benn has left Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing organisation to join Dana White's Zuffa Boxing Promotional Company. The 29-year-old had been in Matchroom since turning professional and beat long-term rival Chris Eubank back in November. In a statement on Instagram, Benn said he was filled with excitement and hunger, but he has been criticised for the conduct in which he left Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. Elsewhere, into football, Yuki Oshashi's headed goal deep into stoppage time snatched a vital 3 points for Blackburn in their fight for Championship survival as they beat Lancashire rivals Preston in Michael O'Neill's first home game as Rovers boss. He came off the bench to apply the winning touch from Erin Cashin's deep cross in the last 5 of added minutes at Ewood Park in a match that seemed destined to end goalless. Elsewhere, Igor Tudor said he's 100% convinced they will avoid relegation from the Premier League. Spurs are 16th in the table, only 5 points above third bottom West Ham, with 12 games remaining. Elsewhere, in other news of football, Neymar, the Brazilian striker, said he is considering retirement at the end of the year. The 34-year-old, whose £200 million move from Barcelona to Paris Saint-Germain in 2017 remains the highest paid for a player, has been blighted by injuries in recent seasons, but he hopes to play for his country in the World Cup this summer. He rejoined his boyhood club Santos from Al Hilal in January. He's had an injury-hampered first year, but he's hoping to push on. But he says he doesn't know what the future holds after the end of this year. Elsewhere then, into news in cricket, and England Limited Overs captain Harry Brooks said it would be a shame if Pakistan players were excluded from playing in the 100 this year. Reports suggest that Pakistan players are not being considered by the 4 Indian-owned sides for the auction, which will take place on the 11th and 12th of March. Brook insists he hopes that everyone can involve to bolster the competition. That's all then for the latest headlines. We'll have more news later. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm Tom Hill. We'll start with news in Super League, and St Helens gave new coach Paul Rowley his first Super League win in a hectic, breathless encounter with Lee Leopards at the Brewdog Stadium as they were out 2018 winners. Lee, after beating Leeds Rivals in the opener last week, twice led, but in the end couldn't get over the line. Saints have won the game despite losing Johnny Lomax to a broken arm. It was a real battle on home soil. Leeds responded from their opening round defeat with a comfortable 46-14 win over York Knights. They took the harsh Lesham in their newly promoted campaign, but Bradford got a win on the board. And they marked their first Super League home match for 12 years with an emphatic 28-10 win over Catalans, with tries from Andy Eckers, Wacker Blake and Caleb Akins added to by 3 penalty goals by Rowan Mills for a 24-0 half-time lead. Blake then scored again, with Catalans unable to compete on their travels. Elsewhere, into tennis, Ukraine's Elina Svitolina upset world number 4 Coco Gauff to set up a final against Jessica Pegula at the Dubai Tennis Championships. American Pegula was the first to win her semi-final, fighting back from a disastrous opening set and break of serve in the second to defeat compatriot Amanda Anisimova 1-6, 6-4, 6-3. Gauff had a chance to make it an All-American final, but Svitolina recorded a 4-6, 6-7, 6-4 in an epic encounter that lasted over 3 hours. Elsewhere in boxing, Britain's Conor Benn has left Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing organisation to join Dana White's Zuffa Boxing Promotional Company. The 29-year-old had been in Matchroom since turning professional and beat long-term rival Chris Eubank back in November. In a statement on Instagram, Ben said he was filled with excitement and hunger, but he has been criticised for the conduct in which he left Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. Elsewhere, into football, Yuki Oshashi's headed goal deep into stoppage time snatched a vital 3 points for Blackburn in their fight for Championship survival as they beat Lancashire rivals Preston in Michael O'Neill's first home game as Rovers boss. He came off the bench to apply the winning touch from Erin Cashin's deep cross in the last 5 of added minutes at Ewood Park in a match that seemed destined to end goalless. Elsewhere, Igor Tudor said he's 100% convinced they will avoid relegation from the Premier League. Spurs are 16th in the table, only 5 points above third bottom West Ham, with 12 games remaining. Elsewhere, in other news of football, Neymar, the Brazilian striker, said he is considering retirement at the end of the year. The 34-year-old, whose £200 million move from Barcelona to Paris Saint-Germain in 2017 remains the highest paid for a player, has been blighted by injuries in recent seasons, but he hopes to play for his country in the World Cup this summer. He rejoined his boyhood club Santos from Al Hilal in January. He's had an injury-hampered first year, but he's hoping to push on. But he insists he doesn't know what the future holds after the end of this year. Elsewhere then, into news in cricket, and England limited overs captain Harry Brooks said it would be a shame if Pakistan players were excluded from playing in the 100 this year. Reports suggest that Pakistan players are not being considered by the 4 Indian-owned sides for the auction, which will take place on the 11th and 12th of March. Brook insists he hopes that everyone can involve to bolster the competition. That's all then for the latest headlines. We'll have more news later. Here are our latest sporting headlines. I'm Tom Helm. We'll start with news in Super League, and St Helens gave new coach Paul Rowley his first Super League win in a hectic, breathless encounter with Lee Leopards at the Brewdog Stadium as they ran out 2018 winners. Lee, after beating Leeds Rivals in the opener last week, twice led, but in the end couldn't get over the line. Saints even won the game despite losing Janelle Lomax to a broken arm. It was a real battle on home soil. Leeds responded from their opening round defeat with a comfortable 46-14 win over York Knights. They topped them a harsh Lesham in their newly promoted campaign, but Bradford got a win on the board. And they marked their first Super League home match for 12 years with an emphatic 28-10 win over Catalans, with tries from Andy Eckers, Waka Blake and Caleb Akins added to by 3 penalty goals by Rowan Mills for a 24-0 half-time lead. Blake then scored again, with Catalans unable to compete on their travels. Elsewhere, into tennis, Ukraine's Alina Svitolina upset world number 4 Coco Gauff to set up a final against Jessica Pegula at the Dubai Tennis Championships. American Pegula was the first to win her semi-final, fighting back from a disastrous opening set and break of serve in the second to defeat compatriot Amanda Anisimova 1-6, 6-4, 6-3. Gauff had a chance to make it an All-American final, but Svitolina recorded a 4-6, 6-7, 6-4 in an epic encounter that lasted over 3 hours. Elsewhere in boxing, Britain's Conor Benn has left Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing organisation to join Dana White's Zuffa Boxing promotional company. The 29-year-old had been in Matchroom since turning professional and beat long-term rival Chris Eubank back in November. In a statement on Instagram, Bensley was filled with excitement and hunger, but he has been criticised for the conduct in which he left Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. Elsewhere, into football, Yuki Osahashi's headed goal deep into stoppage time snatched a vital 3 points for Blackburn in their fight for Championship survival as they beat Lancashire rivals Preston in Michael O'Neill's first home game as Rovers boss. He came off the bench to apply the winning touch from Erin Cashin's deep cross in the last 5 of added minutes at Ewood Park in a match that seemed destined to end goalless. Elsewhere, Igor Tudor said he's 100% convinced they will avoid relegation from the Premier League. Spurs are 16th in the table, only 5 points above third bottom West Ham, with 12 games remaining. Elsewhere, in other news of football, Neymar, the Brazilian striker, said he is considering retirement at the end of the year. The 34-year-old, whose £200 million move from Barcelona to Paris Saint-Germain in 2017 remains the highest paid for a player, has been blighted by injuries in recent seasons, but he hopes to play for his country in the World Cup this summer. He rejoined his boyhood club Santos from Al Hilal in January. He's had an injury-hampered first year, but he's hoping to push on. But he insists he doesn't know what the future holds after the end of this year. Elsewhere then, into news in cricket, and England limited overs captain Harry Brooks said it would be a shame if Pakistan players were excluded from playing in the 100 this year. Reports suggest that Pakistan players are not being considered by the 4 Indian-owned sides for the auction, which will take place on the 11th and 12th of March. Brook insists he hopes that everyone can involve to bolster the competition. That's all then for the latest headlines. We'll have more news later. Here are our latest sporting headlines. I'm Tom Helm. We'll start with news in Super League, and St Helens gave new coach Paul Rowley his first Super League win in a hectic, breathless encounter with Lee Leopards at the Brewdog Stadium as they ran out 2018 winners. Lee, after beating Leeds Rivals in the opener last week, twice led, but in the end couldn't get over the line. Saints even won the game despite losing Janelle Lomax to a broken arm. It was a real battle on home soil. Leeds responded from their opening round defeat with a comfortable 46-14 win over York Knights. They topped them a harsh Lesham in their newly promoted campaign, but Bradford got a win on the board. And they marked their first Super League home match for 12 years with an emphatic 28-10 win over Catalans, with tries from Andy Eckers, Waka Blake and Caleb Akins added to by 3 penalty goals by Rowan Mills for a 24-0 half-time lead. Blake then scored again, with Catalans unable to compete on their travels. Elsewhere, into tennis, Ukraine's Alina Svitolina upset world number 4 Coco Gauff to set up a final against Jessica Pegula at the Dubai Tennis Championships. American Pegula was the first to win her semi-final, fighting back from a disastrous opening set and break of serve in the second to defeat compatriot Amanda Anisimova 1-6, 6-4, 6-3. Goff had a chance to make it an All-American final, but Svitolina recorded a 4-6, 6-7, 6-4 in an epic encounter that lasted over 3 hours. Elsewhere in boxing, Britain's Conor Benn has left Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing organisation to join Dana White's Zuffa Boxing promotional company. The 29-year-old had been in Matchroom since turning professional and beat long-term rival Chris Eubank back in November. In a statement on Instagram, Bensley was filled with excitement and hunger, but he has been criticised for the conduct in which he left Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. Elsewhere, into football, Yuki Oshashi's headed goal deep into stoppage time snatched a vital 3 points for Blackburn in their fight for Championship survival as they beat Lancashire rivals Preston in Michael O'Neill's first home game as Rovers boss. He came off the bench to apply the winning touch from Erin Cashin's deep cross in the last 5 of added minutes at Ewood Park in a match that seemed destined to end goalless. Elsewhere, Igor Tudor said he's 100% convinced they will avoid relegation from the Premier League. Spurs are 16th in the table, only 5 points above third bottom West Ham, with 12 games remaining. Elsewhere, in other news of football, Neymar, the Brazilian striker, said he is considering retirement at the end of the year. The 34-year-old, whose £200 million move from Barcelona to Paris Saint-Germain in 2017 remains the highest fee paid for a player, has been blighted by injuries in recent seasons.
As follows, it's Martinez in goal, back four is completely different. That's Cash, Concert, Mings and Matson. Onana and Louise in the midfield with Bailey, Rogers and Buendia, only behind Ollie Watkins, who's back in the starting 11 and starting up front for Leeds. They make even more, it's 9 changes from their 4-2 win on penalties against Birmingham, also in the FA Cup. Justin and Goodmanson are the only survivors from that game, so it's Darlow back in the sticks, back three of Justin, Roden and Strout. Midfield 5 then is Bogle and Goodmanson out wide. Stack comes back in after recovering from injury. He's joined in the midfield by Ampadu and Gruev, with Aronson just in behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who leads the line for Daniel Farke's team. Kick-off at 3 PM, make sure you join us. Not long now until kick-off at Villa Park. This big game in the Premier League affecting both ends of the table as third place Aston Villa take on 15th place Leeds United. Moving on to the team news, Unai Emery makes 7 changes from the 3-1 defeat to Newcastle in the FA Cup last time out. The only players keeping their place, Louise and Onana in the midfield, as well as Bailey and Rogers. So the full lineup for the Villains as follows, it's Martinez in goal, back four is completely different. That's Cash, Concert, Mings and Matson. Onana and Louise in the midfield with Bailey, Rogers and Buendia, only behind Ollie Watkins, who's back in the starting 11 and starting up front for Leeds. They make even more, it's 9 changes from their 4-2 win on penalties against Birmingham, also in the FA Cup. Justin and Goodmanson are the only survivors from that game, so it's Darlow back in the sticks, back three of Justin, Roden and Strout. Midfield 5 then is Bogle and Goodmanson out wide. Stack comes back in after recovering from injury. He's joined in the midfield by Ampadu and Gruev, with Aronson just in behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who leads the line for Daniel Farke's team. Kick-off at 3 PM, make sure you join us. Well, good afternoon, it's a very warm welcome to this independent, unofficial, off-tube studio commentary of this big game in the Premier League at 3 o'clock. It's Aston Villa taking on Leeds United at Villa Park. We're just about underway for this one. Some early possession at the back for Aston Villa as Ezri Konsa lets it go all the way through to Emi Martinez, and then eventually Matty Cash will send it long down that right channel. What a game this could be, though. It's a game in terms of the impact it could have at both ends of the table. Aston Villa currently in 3rd place. A bit of some rocky form as of late, though. They've not been as consistent as they have been earlier on in the season with all the wins. Looking to solidify their place in the top 4 and make sure they qualify for Champions League for Leeds. The aim is totally different, it's just to stay in the division. They're doing a good job of it though at the moment, in 15th place at the moment, the Whites, after some fantastic form starting in the December months. That's carried through, inspired by the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front, that real industrious in midfield as well. Anton Stack, lots of great players in this Leeds team. They'll be hard to beat, and this could be a tough one for Aston Villa this afternoon. Cash looking to get them forward on the first chance of the game. Leon Bailey though gives it away. He's actually one of 4 players to have kept their place from the 3-1 defeat to Newcastle in the FA Cup. So 7 changes from Unai Emery. Full lineup for Villa. It's Emi Martinez in goal. Back for his Cash, Concert, Mings and Maatsen. It's then Onana and Louise in the midfield with Bailey, Rodgers and Buendia all in behind Ollie Watkins. Daniel Farke for Leeds. He makes even more changes from there. Win on penalties against Birmingham also in the FA Cup. It's 9 in total. The only players keeping their place is James Justin and Gabriel Goodmanson. So full lineup for Leeds. It's Carl Darlow who's back in it in goal. Back 3 we believe it is of Justin, Roden and Strauch. It's then 5 in midfield of Bogle, Stack, Ampadu, Gruev and Goodmanson, and then Aronson and Dominic Calvert-Lewin leading the line for the Whites. It is myself, Joshua Makin, taking you through this one. Alongside me is Lewis Ratherick. And we could be in for a good game, Lewis.
Hopefully so. And as you say, both teams have different ends, really. As you say, Leeds trying to stay in the league, but they are, as you said, the form they picked up in December, it just kept rolling on, haven't they? And I think they've looked really impressive in this new system, new setup by Daniel Farke. We've got a lot of colleagues in the office that we speak to in the sense of, I don't know what Villa are doing here with a set piece, trying to maybe overcomplicate things in. About 4 players come to the ball, then I think 2 went, and Douglas Luiz, not clue what he's doing, but they're always trying to invent things so the set piece goes down the side. Comes to nothing, the Leeds get away with it. But back to the Whites, so the visitors, as you say. I mean, my problem as well, I always thought with Farke is he was very one-minded, wasn't very stubborn, and you see how flexible he is and how it's working to Leeds' benefit. Emery, as you said, he'll be disappointed with the FA Cup defeat last time out. They'll want to bounce back. Both teams have a lot on the line, as you say. The poor form of Villa should be a good one, as you say.
Yeah, definitely should be. It's quite mental, isn't it, to think about Daniel Farke. He was 2 games away from being sacked as Leeds manager if he lost those games against Chelsea and Liverpool, Ellen Road, back in December. And ever since then, they've been one of the form teams in the Premier League. They've lifted themselves from almost certain relegation to now 15th, and maybe even looking up towards the other end of the table, maybe making a move up towards the mid-table pack if they can do so. But it's going to be tough for them this afternoon against a fantastic Villa team at home. Tyrone Mings has the ball at the back at the moment. It's of course not being the only 3 PM game taking place in the Premier League this afternoon. There's also Brentford against Brighton and Chelsea against Burnley as well. Chelsea have scored early on at Stamford Bridge there. João Pedro has got them in front. It's a fantastic run of form for him at the moment. It looks like he's continuing it this afternoon against the team threatened with relegation. However, that goal has been checked by VAR, so we'll see what the result of that is, and I will confirm it for you in a moment. Leeds have won the ball high up the pitch. Could be a chance here. Ampadu, about 30 yards from goal, plays it in towards Aronson. This attack sort of slowing down, but Leeds still have it. Ampadu on the left side of the box, left-footed ball across the face of goal. Is a really heavy one in the end. Bogle will pick it up though on the other side of the box, plays it in for Justin, who's making the run forward, trying to get round Watkins, still going up towards the byline, just overruns it in the end and out for a goal kick. But decent stuff from Leeds. Yeah,
it is, and again, what I really like about this formation, we do see a lot these days 3-4-3s, more the 3 at the back system. I never like it because you've got so much space. The wing, everyone's isolated. In a 3-5-2, there's so many players around each other. I think it works so excellently. And Leeds, they've got the players for the formation as well, haven't they? Bogle and Goodmanson as wing backs. To me, as full backs, and Bogle's, they're not that bad at full-backs. I'm not trying to sit here and say that, but I think wing-backs, you give them the licence to go forward. They're both incredible doing that. You've got such a solid midfield 3, and when Calvert-Lewin's got someone I think who can just drift off him, Aronson's looked a world apart, hasn't he? You wouldn't have said it with the same player. I really like what they do, and it has been a good start for Leeds to play wide, get players forward. It's a good chance, but Villa, we know how dangerous they can be on the counter, but Leeds, they're setting the stall up really, they'll be really physical, and Villa in terms of, I think for the intensity, struggling to deal with it at the start.
Yeah, it's what they're all about, isn't it, Leeds? Making the game as hard as possible for the opposition. They'll know about the attacking talents of Aston Villa, coming up against Ollie Watkins plenty of times when he was at Brentford as well, and he's done a nice pass there. Morgan Rodgers is almost through. He's up against Pascal Strauch. Rodgers trying to turn onto his right. Ampadu stops him. Ball over the top. Can Maatsen pick it back across goal? He can't really get any connection on it, and it's into the hands eventually of Carl Darlow. A few goals flying in the Championship as well in the 3 PM kickoffs. Birmingham have taken lead away at Norwich. Watford 1-0 up against Derby, and Wrexham high flying in the Championship. They're now 1-0 up against Ipswich in a big game in terms of the top end of the table. There's also a full programme in League 1 and League 2, so we might have a look at some of the scores as the afternoon carries on, but our attention will fully be focused on this game at Villa Park. Just to confirm as well, João Pedro's goal against Burnley does stand. It is 1-0 to Chelsea in that one after a VAR check. And 5 minutes gone now at Villa Park, and it is still Aston Villa 0, Leeds 0. No real chances to tell you about just yet. I'm sure that will change very soon. Gruev and Peru now for Aronson, who's dropping very deep at the moment. Calvert-Lewin has made the run. I think he was in an offside position. It was almost finding Goodmanson, but Cash stepped in the way of it. Now Bailey for Concert. And then just back towards Cash out on this right-hand side. Nice ball through the middle. Watkins with a heavy touch, but he gets away with it. He finds it over towards Tyrone Mings. He's no stranger to playing against Leeds. Leeds will also know everything about Emi Buendia. They've tried to sign him numerous times. Both Marcelo Bielsa, Daniel Farke as well, has wanted him. It's never quite made the move to Ellen Road. He's up against Leeds now. Here he is on the ball, finding it for Concert. Villa building out from the back for the time being. Nice ball out towards Cash, who's in space. It's going to go for the cross from deep. He slips on it as well. It might find Rodgers, who just heads it behind him in the end. It's too far over his head really, and Maatsen then can't get on the end of it. But that was almost sort of a task failed successfully there for Matty Cash.
Yeah, as you say, as soon as he slipped, you're thinking, right, this is over or under here. And it kind of just kept going and going and going, and in the end a little bit over here, as you say, but Rodgers does well to nearly bring it down and create a chance there. I mean, you spoke about Emi Buendia there as well, and he's spot on, but if you look at two players, Emi Buendia last year, this time was on loan at Bayer Leverkusen. The first half of the season, Leon Bailey on loan at Roma, and he's there on the outs, and now they're starting and finding form under Emery, so that shows that you're never truly out in some sense under Emery, are you? And that shows that two players who were good but maybe you didn't think fit his style or what he wanted, and now they're starting for him, and that shows the mentality of those two players as well, and the mentality of the manager. And I think Buendia is a player for me that's so underrated at Norwich. I think he's been fantastic for Villa as there's one pressure there. But yeah, I think right now Villa are getting on the ball, getting the foot on the ball out there, but again, Leeds, whenever they do get the ball, they look dangerous going forward.
Yeah, ball headed on. Calvert-Lewin might be offside there, but he could be into the box. Calvert-Lewin still goes, tries to cut it across. It's Konsu who slides in with the challenge. Calvert-Lewin will let this go for a corner, and the referee and the linesman doesn't point for offside in the end. I was certain the former Everton man had just made the run ahead of his defender there. The ball continued in play. It was Stack who headed it onto him. See a replay now. He's definitely offside. And the linesman let it play through, so if Leeds had have scored, it have got ruled out, but they've got a corner.
Yeah, so now if you go score this corner, there'll be a lot of questions raised. Aronson always looked onside than he was, as you say. Calvert-Lewin, he's a lot closer than I first thought, but look, he's looked offside still. Here comes the corner.
Yeah, it's headed away though by Rodgers. Goodmanson will pick it up though on the other side. Cross comes in from deep. It's not the greatest delivery, but should still be enough for Stack to get on the end of it. He's hooked it back in. Roden with the header, jumps up for it. It's high in the air. Gruev is still there. Goodmanson with a volley. And it's all the way through and out for a goal kick in the air. But good stuff there from Leeds, just keeping the ball alive really in the final third. But Goodmanson can't quite get hold of that volley.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward. He just falls, he just has to swing his leg at it. And I think he does as well as he can do, if I'm honest there. But what Leeds do have, whether it's from set pieces or in play, especially from Goodmanson and Bogue, I think Goodmanson's got a great delivery. They've got balls into the box for crosses. Well, that's why Calvert-Lewin scored so many goals, because it's excellent in terms of trying to get him involved, isn't it? So you've got excellent deliveries there. So I know there's no be-all in the starting lineup for Leeds, but such a big side, aren't they? You've got Strike and Calvert-Lewin and Road on there as well. So you've got a lot of options. So maybe it's a set piece that opens up Villa, but unless they keep playing the set pieces that Villa have, they'll struggle this afternoon.
Yeah, I think it might be a bit of a puzzling one to see Jacobiel not starting this afternoon for Leeds. There's no indication of an injury or anything like that. He's on the bench and he started in that game against Birmingham in the FA Cup and played the full match. So a bit of a puzzling one, because James Justin is obviously playing at centre half instead. He has been really good in recent times for Leeds since coming into the side. Of course, arrived from £10 million from Leicester in the summer. I think a lot of people looked at that one as maybe a bit of an overpay, but he's certainly repaid it back with some fantastic performance, chipping in with goals as well, as we've seen. This time Martinez goes directly on Bailey though, is in an offside position, and it will be a free kick to Leeds. 10 minutes gone at Villa Park. It's still goalless between Aston Villa and Leeds United in this one. Villa taking a trick out of Leeds' book really and trying to play direct. Goodmanson though holds his line after just having that shot a few moments ago. Still not scored in a Leeds shirt, Gabriel Goodmanson, but he's been a fantastic addition after arriving from Lille in the summer. And Leeds' recruitment was really impressive in the summer. Likes of Stack, Bioli we've already mentioned, Goodmanson as well, Justin, Calvert-Lewin as well. I mean, it's the makings of a team that's going to stay up when you've got such consistent recruitment.
100%, and if I'm honest, I think that was Leeds' downfall when they were first in the league. I just did not like most, if not all, of their signings. I looked at a Rodrigo, who's a winger for me, never played as a winger, was a striker and a central midfielder, and I just think Bielsa squeezed as much as he could out of that squad. Whereas you look this summer, it's been absolutely excellent, everything they've done. And Calvert-Lewin on a free, if it would have failed, it would have been a free for Leeds. So it was a no-brainer. James Justin, his injury history with Leicester, but a really good player on his day. So I think it's been top-notch, and also the players that have come up, they've also elevated, I think, with those signings around them and the pressure of the Premier League.
Yeah, certainly have. I didn't even mention Lucas Metra as well, of course, another free signing for Leeds, who's chipped in with a few important goals really for them. He's on the bench as well, so they've got some decent depth to come on if they need it. So do Aston Villa as well. It just leads me on nice actually to go through the subs bench for both teams. I will actually go through that in a minute as Villa are on the attack. Leeds stop it, but Buendia keeps on going. Stack then puts a foot in. A few challenges going in before Leeds eventually should get it clear. Bogle and I think the man Matson there getting in a little bit of a tangle, but Leeds will play it out. Is that too heavy for Stack to keep in? It is. It's out for a throw. But yeah, the substitutes for both teams. Aston Villa, James Wright, the backup goalkeeper. They've also got Lindelof, Digne, Torres, Bugatti, Garcia, Barkley, Sancho and Abraham. For Leeds, Lucas Perry is the backup goalkeeper. They've also got then Bornout, Biol, Longstaff, Tanaka, James, Nonto, Mecha and Piru if they require. Aston Villa still with the ball at the back now. Going over the top, Birmingham look like they doubled their lead in their game against Norwich City in the Championship. Obviously just lost to Leeds in the FA Cup. Leeds have drawn Norwich in the next round of it. Now Concert just at the back again. 13 minutes gone nearly at Villa Park. Still going. They're still waiting for the first real big chance as well of this one. You probably could say Leeds have had the best one with that one for Goodmanson. And that's been about it as Buendia slips it through for Watkins. As he timed his run to perfection, he's not. He's in an offside position, and in the end this linesman down the other side doesn't choose to keep play going. He raises his flag immediately. Yeah,
he looked offside, and I mean, again, probably a little bit further offside, but you'd probably say that is just as close as Calvert-Lewin's, really. Both offsides, and again, I wouldn't have maybe blamed the linesman if he let the play continue and play it out and then put his flag up and see what would have happened. But yeah, very, very close. But yeah, the linesman maybe a bit more just wanting to get his flag up there. It's a correct decision, it's a good decision, but we're not used to seeing it. Here come Leeds possibly with a counter.
Yeah, advantage played as Calvert-Lewin takes a foul. He finds Stack. Now it's with Bogle. He chips it over the top. That's a great ball. Calvert-Lewin, good touch, through on goal. Calvert-Lewin, has he been taken out by the goalkeeper? His shot goes wide in the end. I think it's a corner for Leeds. Martinez, I think, does just enough to keep that within the lot, and it's out for a corner.
What a ball from Bogle, as you said there. It's on the money. Calvert-Lewin stretching the slightest to get it, but it's a good rip run from Aronson. That takes Konza away, and he does. You are right about Martinez there. Just gets the slightest of touches, but it's a lovely first touch from Calvert-Lewin. He is stretching to get his second, and he has to just stab a strike at goal. But Martinez there, how many times have you seen a keeper come out, get it right like he does, or if it's his right hand that gets a touch? If that doesn't get a touch, first of all, it's probably in the back of the net, or if it just trickle wide, it is a penalty. But that's a great piece of play from Leeds. Here comes a corner.
Yeah, his corner comes in. Martinez has been fouled on the goal line there by Ethan Ampadu, who's not happy about the decision, but it is going to be a free kick to Aston Villa, so they're going to get a little bit of respite after some good pressure from Leeds. It's going to be a decent start from Daniel Farke's side. They've had the biggest chance of the game by a country mile so far, but Martinez, I mean, just proving there why he's so highly rated.
100%, because a lot of keepers might have. I was just watching this back with Ampadu as well. I think he's so smart because they're both all over each other, but it's Martinez who drags Ampadu, isn't it? But then he goes down first, so he makes it look like he's the one who's been taken down. If I'm honest, I know the keeper's always going to get that one, but just let that play go on because they're both all over each other. If anything, it's probably more of Martinez fouling Ampadu, really, but the keeper's always going to get that one. But you're right there, that's his decision-making's top quality there. That's the difference, as you say. Great piece of goalkeeping, originally, then a bit of an annoying one as well, I can imagine, for a lot of fans out there. Seeing Martin, he's a bit like Marmite, isn't he? You know what he's got, but my word, can he really be a wind-up merchant half of the time?
Yeah, he certainly gets in the heads, doesn't he, of the opposition, and knows how to play it. Cash takes it inside. Aston Villa actually have a fantastic record against Leeds United in recent times. They've gone unbeaten in their last 6 Premier League games against Leeds. They're looking to complete a double over them for the second time in the top flight in the Premier League after 1999-2000 season. Leeds will be looking to avoid that though. Of course, it finished 2-1 in the game back at Ellen Road at the end of November. That was just before Leeds switched formation, then went on to have that fantastic run that they've continued on. It's going to be Cash to take this throw, about halfway inside the Leeds half. Takes it defensively though towards Conser. Villa have definitely had more of the possession in this one, but it's Leeds who currently look the more dangerous. They've had that chance with Calvert-Lewin, but here come Villa down the other end. It's Maatsen receiving it from Buendia. Up against Bogle. Maatsen turns them back onto his right, still going with this attack. Ball into the middle from Louise. Rogers touches it around the corner. They've still got it. That's surely going to be a foul there by Watkins. James Justin getting in the way of him. Watkins committing the foul. Leeds have got themselves a free kick. Leeds have lost their last 2 Premier League games against Villa, as I mentioned. They've lost 3 in a row to the Villains back in December of 2000. So it's been a long time. We'll see how it goes as Unai Emery watches on from the sidelines. Fantastic job, of course, at Aston Villa. A bit of time being taken as well to take this one before Darlow will eventually send it long down the field. It's up towards Calvert-Lewin, who jumps and doesn't connect with it, but it still might go through for Aronson. It's not. And Mings has stayed down a little bit after that, coming together with Calvert-Lewin. Cash bringing it away now for Bailey. Goodmanson almost wins it off of him. That could have been a real chance there for Leeds. They were almost in if the Swede could have drove with it. In the end, Villa get away. It's now towards Louise in the midfield, towards halfway. Nice ball through the centre towards Rogers, who tries to get round Pascal Strauch. Does enough in the end. He finds Brendan Aronson by the touchline. Good skill from the American. He's away down this left-hand side before an industrious challenge from Matty Cash. He's done really well there as Cash. He's made the tackle. It's come off off of Aronson last as well. And out for a throw-in, but yeah, quite an extended spell of possession this for Villa.
Yeah, it's just, this is what they want, don't they? They like to slow it down and control, and they like to almost tease a press, don't you? Ball there for Watkins, like we saw him a few times. He's almost like to tease you with that press and then go long sometimes, or play through it. And this is what Villa will be quite happy with. But I also think Leeds will be quite happy with it, because what they do so well is, because yes, it's a 5-3-2, but in attack it's a 3-5-2. So the wing backs get forward, the 2-8s in Gruev and Stack, they get forward. So when they do get the ball, they do get bodies in the box. That's a decent ball looking there for Leon Bailey, and is it one corner? I do believe it has. But yeah, it's one of them where I think Leeds, they will be happy on the counter, but set piece, let's see if Villa can do better than the free kick they had earlier.
Yeah, we'll see how they do it. It was Roden who got the final touch there to send it out for a corner. Ipswich have found an equaliser in the Championship against Wrexham. So it's 1-1 now in that game. It's going to be Cash to take this throw-in. Yeah, it did just stay within the corner flag, so it's not going to be a direct set piece in that sense for Aston Villa, but still a good chance to get the ball into the area in front of those Leeds fans. And it comes from Cash. It's a really good throw, but in the end it's easy for Darlow. It's right towards the Welsh goalkeeper. Hasn't really ever put a foot wrong really for Leeds since coming in for Lucas Perry, of course, who they paid a lot of money for in the summer after a string of mistakes, so replaced by Carl Darlow. It's what you need really, isn't it, if you're Leeds? A steady pair of hands. That's not what they need, what they've just done. Gabriel Goodmanson has just kicked the ball straight off play for a corner, trying to fight the ball back to his defensive teammate and out for a corner. Yeah,
I think that's a little bit, it's a good decent press from Villa as well, isn't it? And that's just it's just that slight thing there where that's, again, trying to maybe overplay. For me, Goodmanson, just turn and play the ball upfield. You know, or just, I know it's your weaker right foot, clear it long. Don't give the corner for Villa, because again, we know how dangerous they are. Konza, Mings, Onana, Watkins. Leeds are a big side, but so are Villa. There's like a big in-swinger from Bailey as well.
Yeah, crowding the keeper. Mings definitely interested about this one. It's going to come in though from Bailey towards the near post. Not the greatest delivery. It'll fall for Cash on the edge of the area. Back to Bailey. First time ball into the area. It's nearly headed on by Rogers. Could fall for Buendia. It doesn't. Ampadu smashes it away in the nick of time, really. As we approach 20 minutes gone at Villa Park. It's still goalless between Villa and Leeds. We've just seen the last few moments really. Villa starting to not dominate, but certainly get more in the ascendancy.
Yeah, more in control of that, as we say, that they're getting on the ball, they're getting the set pieces, they're pressing a little bit higher up when Leeds do have the ball. But again, I'm sure that Goodmanson made that mistake. Next time he might just clear it long and learn from that mistake. You've always got that opportunity, haven't you? Going long here for the left. Here come Villa, but it's defended well originally. Yeah,
Bogle heads it behind him. It's a bit of a risky one in the end. It falls for Maatsen, I believe it was, maybe even Buendia. It looked like it was actually going into the stands, but it just drops right next to the post and out for a goal kick. It was a nervy moment there for Leeds. Darlow had come flying out and wasn't in his goal. It's not great communication from him and Bogle. Leeds almost caught out by that one. It's a fantastic effort from Buendia, angled massively against him, but yeah, just a breakdown in communication there between Leeds players.
Yeah, 100%, and that's something that I think will worry Leeds. That's a great play from Goodman down the left-hand side, and probably should win a free kick. No, he doesn't. I thought that's free kick all day long for the Whites, but Villa have won it high. Here they come.
Yep, still going. It's now with Louise. Passes it over towards Bailey. Now through inside the box. Watkins gets it across again in towards the centre of the box. Leeds are just about getting there at the moment to clear those balls away. It's again though for Cash as Villa look to increase the pressure again. Now Onana, Louise, back for Concert. Everyone back at the moment in a black shirt. Cash goes for the cross. That's a brilliant delivery. Watkins heads it under pressure from a Leeds man. I think the flag's gone up anyway for an offside against Ollie Watkins. But what a ball in from Matty Cash.
Yeah, it was just teasing ball, was it? Put it into a good area. Hopefully one of your teammates can get there. I think you're spot on. I do think that he's on early, hasn't he? So he's well defended as well by Striker and Rodon at the back, and then Watkins, I know he's offside anyway, so he doesn't really count, but he's also gets his feet caught up as well when he's trying to bring it down. I assume it was probably for Leon Bailey more than Watkins, that pass, but it was a lovely cross from Matty Cash. I think we're still waiting. You'd say, well, easily the best chance fell for Calvert-Lewin, wouldn't you? But it was a one-on-one, but a stretching one-on-one for the Leeds number 9. I think we're waiting for that real massive one-on-one chance where you can go, right, everything worked out there. Leeds can get it here though, coming forward with Goodmanson. Yeah, Goodmanson down the left tries to cross it towards the far post. That's a bit of a waste there from Leeds. It was a good opportunity. They didn't really have Villa scrambling at the back, but not the greatest delivery from Goodmanson. We have praised already in this game for being fantastic this season, but a weird few moments from him recently. Yeah, I really wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he took a nick off a defender, but it didn't, as you say, just a poor cross. And again, you spot on. We know the quality he has, so that makes it even worse of a ball, doesn't it? Long ball forward to Watkins, and the striker gets the benefit of the doubt there. Again, for me, that's one of them where the ball... Watkins is pushing against Rodon, Rodon's pushing. It's just a good battle, I think, between two players. I think that's where you just got to let the play continue and say, look, but Rodon didn't bring Watkins down, but Watkins didn't just fall down. It was just, I think it's actually a good physical battle for me, and let the game go on, and Villa will get the free kick. Maybe you could say Rodon was the quote-unquote aggressor of the two, but I do think he's a little bit soft for my liking, but that does happen, unfortunately, in the modern day. But another free kick for Villa. Yeah, they were both holding on to each other, weren't they? But it is Rodon who probably does drag him down. Quickly taken by Villa. They're going for these training ground routines with the set pieces. Again, it doesn't work. James Justin is alert to it and sends it back to where it came from. Matson now picking the ball up, and all the way for Martinez, who's well outside of his box. With that, though, we have passed the quarter mark of this game. No goals as of yet in this one at Villa Park. Dominic Calvert-Lewin with the biggest chance so far. Aston Villa have just started to get in the ascendancy though, getting on the ball a lot more, but with that, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 0, and it will be Lewis to take you through to half time. Cheers, Josh. It's been a really interesting first half. Of the first half, as you say, Leeds have, I'd say, been the more intense side, whereas the Villains have been the more side in control. At the moment, it has to be said, Leeds do have the ball at the back with Justin, of course, as we already spoke about. He's on the right hand side of the back three, but he does overlap and underlap a lot to help out Bogle on that right hand side. Buendia pressing high that time to clear it away. Another player who's been quite impressive, as we said, a bit of a revival under Emery this season. We spoke about the patchy form. Well, Villa could do with 3 points to keep the pressure on a title race, if you will. I think it might be just down to the two big dogs of City and Arsenal. We'll have to wait and see if they can string some good wins together. Aronson does well to win it, and then he's tripped up, does well to win the free kick. There's almost 3 Villa defenders around him, and I think he just takes that one where he's not rolling around, I'm not saying that, but he just takes a bit of a kick on the knee and the heel, and he's just one of them where you can see it's a bit sore, isn't it? Could take a few minutes, he's just limping, could take a few minutes to get the blood back going and get back on his feet, but he's won his side a free kick. Yeah, he's done really well. He's such a good player in those situations, and keeping the ball close to his feet is a nightmare for defenders to try and dispossess him as the free kick comes in. There's a foul given anyway on the edge of the box. Onana going down, but yeah, really interesting to see his resurgence, really, Brendan Aronson. It looked like there was no way back in for him at Leeds. He was one of those players who went out on loan after they were relegated. I think the fans were really against the idea of him coming back in the Championship, and even last season I don't think he impressed too much in the second tier. Thought he would be replaced, and he's managed to somehow just become a completely different player overnight. It's coincided with Leeds' uptick in form, and yeah, it's been quite interesting to see the American revival. He's probably a shoo-in now to go to the World Cup. 100%. I'd agree with that. I think as well, it's a role. He's just been given a free role behind Calvert-Lewin. You've got that midfield free base behind him. Even when he plays in that midfield free, if Leeds have gone with more of a traditional two up top, he looks really good as well. Martin down the left, he's brought down there by Stack. It'll be another free kick. Story so far of this game has been that both sides have had decent set pieces, but my word, have they not swung one good one in yet. Douglas Luiz, again, what the disappointing thing is, me and Josh have said, we know they're good dead ball specialists. Luiz will swing one in. Nice catching practice for Caldalo. So again, another disappointing one, and again, it's because both these teams, I know set pieces have taken off this last 18 months in the Premier League, but we know how creative Villa can be. We know the players they have in there. We've already mentioned them, Konza, Mings, Onana. Leeds have got some, they've got Calvert-Lewin, Rodon, Strike, but the deliveries have been woeful.
Yeah, they have. They've just not really got any pace on it. It's just flat, isn't it? There, it's easy for Darlow just to go and sort of, shout his name out, and then he'll just go and claim it. It's too easy from a Villa standpoint. They'll probably just cancel each other out as well. The technical ability of Villa, and compared to the sort of physicality and energy from Leeds. Strauker's got to be careful though. He's caught napping on the ball, and Bailey could have it.
Yeah, Bailey's trying to track him down. Watkins did well to just get him off balance off the ball. Then, as Josh said, Bailey's pounced upon it. He's won it. Villa might go for it quickly a bit more, but they've won the ball and they're going to try and knock it round from right to left. Mings, Buendia looking for a 1-2 with Luiz. The Argentine will get it back down the left hand side. Up against Justin, ball into Rodgers. Heavy first touch, but he still keeps the ball well in close proximity. Bailey's dispossessed in the middle by Calvert-Lewin. Great defending by the striker, then he don't get it out of his feet, loses the ball, but does incredibly well to win it back. That's a poor pass from Stack into Aronson. Slows down the counter, but Aronson will twist and turn and will come away with the ball. Villa do well to get bodies back, but still here come the visitors. Stack on the left hand side, he might go for a strike here. He does. It's blocked, I think, off the face of Onana. He's back up to his feet, so it might even come off his shoulder. It was high up on his body though. Bogle picks it up, he's still going, dinks it over the top, blocked away by Onana and cleared further away. Then Rodgers will be taken down. Advantage played. This is where the tempo's really upping, but then Villa with Bailey just turn around. They want to slow it down. The more chaotic the game gets like that, I think the more it suits Leeds.
Yeah, I think it definitely does, doesn't it? A sort of moment like that where they can get on the counter-attack. It's a bit of an underrated part of their game and how good they are on the counters. They've scored some fantastic goals this season from it. That one at Sunderland springs to mind, and they were almost in there. It's a really good run afterwards as well from Bogle, who's great at just keep going. He's just brilliant in those situations. He'll just seem to persevere and run through three players. It doesn't work out in the end. Villa put a stop to it. It's a good moment from Leeds.
He's very hard to dispossess. He's a great ball progressor, isn't he? Bogle reminds me more of that winger wing back, whereas Goodmanson's more of that. He'll put the ball and he'll take a touch and swing when Bogle wants to take a touch and drive further forward. I think they really complement each other on either side. Bogle there has won a free kick against Buendia. Leeds that they're not in too much of a rush to go and grab. Again, they're quite happy maybe to slow things down as well. At the moment, looks like we might just be about to become the only goalless game in the Premier League at 3 o'clock. It's been a fantastic nearly opening half an hour, but it looks like Brighton have taken the lead at the G-Tech against Brentford, winning for the goal scorer there. But of course, as Josh has already said, there's opening for Chelsea. They lead 1-0 through João Pedro. Leeds United on the counter. Calvert-Lewin into Goodmanson, turns onto his right boot. Strike was on target, blocked away though. Martinez might have had it sorted, might have had it saved. Not 100% sure though, but once again, that's you speaking about their counter-attacks. Very underrated, but when Leeds transition well, they're a great side to watch.
Yeah, they certainly are. This is a good move, this as well from Leeds. They get the overload again. Comes from a long ball to Calvert-Lewin, who holds off the challenge of the defender, plays it for Aronson. Goodmanson's arriving down this left side. The ball to him is just a bit too heavy, and it forces him wide, and that's when the chance sort of evaporates. He cuts in nicely, but by then Villa have got plenty of players in the way of it. And yeah, it just breaks down in the end for Leeds, but Villa, they're just switching off.
A bit risky here, Leeds playing out from the back, but look, if it works like it does there, this is where you beat the press and you come forward. Goodmanson, underlapping run from Aronson, takes a touch, plays the ball into the box, deflected away, and himself and Cash are almost in a bear hug situation, trying to get the ball. Back to Goodmanson, fakes a crossing, back to Aronson. Guerrero's got time and space, Ampadu's picked up, but Watkins comes back and just clips him at the heels, and I think the referee just having a word there because Ampadu does excellently well. And once again, this is a great free kick position, but we've had many of these but the deliveries have been poor. But if they put it on the money, it could be a big chance.
Yeah, it definitely could. We've just seen a replay of that one now. Calvert-Lewin did time his run just about to perfection. But yeah, with this set-piece chance, Leeds have got some decent takers. You'd imagine it's going to be Anton Stach to take it. I'm not sure if it's goal shooting range. It might just be outside of it. And the preferred option might be just to get it in the area. He's not going to shoot from this sort of position. He's a good 35 yards out and it's on the side as well. So yeah, looks like they're aiming up for the cross.
The ball just a swinging, isn't it? Get in there, he does go for goal, and he catches Emi Martinez out. What a strike from Anton Stach. What a way to open the scoring for Leeds United. Half an hour on the mark. It's Aston Villa 0, Leeds United 1. What a goal.
Unbelievable from Anton Stach. That is incredible free kick. He's just caught Martinez out. I mean, we've praised Martinez for being a good goalkeeper, but he does have this sort of mistake in him. He's just assuming that Stach isn't going to shoot. He's going for the cross. All the Leeds players are lining up like that. And Stach, he's got to hit this perfectly, and he absolutely does. We're going to see it again. Now, Martinez is so far towards the other side. He's caught out. It's an unbelievable hit, though, from the German midfielder, back in from his injury. And what a moment that is for Leeds.
What a strike. It's one of them, the more you watch it, he's nearly fingertips there to Emi Martinez as well, isn't it? But what, it's curling. Oh, it's a beautiful strike. We just covered the West Brom Coventry game and saw a world-class goal from Jack Rudoni, but that, I think, definitely has topped it. He's got a great free kick away to Wolves, didn't he, in a 3-1 win for Leeds, and possibly it might be another win on the road for the Whites thanks to an Anton Stach free kick. So just over half an hour played here. It's as cliche as it comes, but I will say goals will change games. We know what Villa are going to do. What will Leeds do? Well, Mings, another terrible delivery. So realistically, because it was a strike from Stach, the deliveries from set piece and play have still been below par. But Stach, maybe that's why Stach went, you know what, we've had terrible deliveries, I'm just going to go for this one.
Just wallop it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all he does, isn't it, really? It's a great strike from him. It's his third direct free kick goal, actually, of the season. You mentioned about the one at Wolves. He also scored one in the home win against Crystal Palace. Maybe poor goalkeeping, really, for that one from Dean Henderson, but still counted the same from Anton Stach. I mean, what a big goal it is for Leeds as well. It takes them up to 14th place in the table. Now 9 points clear of West Ham. We've got Bournemouth to play. They could be in again, actually.
Ball forward to Calvert-Lewin, times his run to perfection, cuts his side on his right boot. Villa get players back, plays it to Gruev. Strike is just a whisker over the bar there. Great play by Calvert-Lewin. He is running riot with Konza and Mings. They're struggling to keep a hold of him. He does well, and he's not selfish. He knows that, look, if it opens up for me, I'll go for it. But he rolls it back for Gruev, and he does ever so well. It's curling in the back. It's just over the bar, isn't it? But similar to Stach's, a curl he gets on it. And they're absolutely perfect. Villa nearly make a mess of it out the bar, passing it to Martinez as well. You can just see right now that I think Villa, they're just being a little bit shell-shocked, and Leeds look like they might go, right, we can go grab a second. They might get it now. Aronson should have played that into Calvert-Lewin. They still have the ball, though. Gruev to Goodmanson, back across the face of goal. Gruev in the penalty area. Goodmanson looks offside for the world. The flag will go up. I thought it was poor from Gruev because even the Leeds players look like, don't pass it there, he's offside. And I'm not saying that kills the momentum there for Leeds because this will keep going. But I think the next 2 or 3 minutes, not that they need a second, I'm saying if you could keep going to get a second, could be a great chance for you to create that gap. I think Aston Villa, their heads are just all over the place at the moment.
Yeah, Leeds have got Villa exactly where they want them at the moment, don't they? It's real panic at the back for Villa. I think the other thing Daniel Farke will say is that we need to get a second at this point. You know that Villa are going to come back at some point and have some good moments. You can get yourselves 2-0 to the good at Villa Park. You can then just sort of absorb it. We're seeing the stats as well. Villa have only had 2 attempts. Leeds have had 7. Leeds have had 2 on target as well, none on target for Aston Villa. It's fantastic stuff from Daniel Farke's team, who maybe came into this game perhaps unfancied because of the difference in league position. I think if you've watched Leeds United in sort of recent months, you could have seen this sort of performance coming from them. It's just about seeing out the result, though.
100%. I think as well the likes of Chelsea were still 1-0 up at home to Burnley, and Manchester United are quite happy with Villa's defeat at the moment. Chelsea moving to 4th above the Red Devils, who play on Monday, but now Chelsea are only 3 points behind Villa in the race for that top 3. They're only 6 points behind City, if you want to put it that way as well. And Manchester United play devil's advocate. If they win their game against Everton on Monday evening, they'll only go 2 points behind Aston Villa. So even though heated rivals, Leeds are probably doing Manchester United a bit of a favour at the moment. But as Josh did rightfully say, Leeds in 14th place. They've gone above Palace. They're pushing away from the likes of Tottenham in 16th and Forest in 17th. They're now 9 points above West Ham course, with West Ham to play later on as well. They're only a point behind Fulham, a point behind Brighton. I think as well, after AILFC in November, for me they would have been down. But this turn in form over the last 2 or 3 months has been absolutely excellent. And if you can pick up Villa, we were speaking to a couple of our colleagues in the office. Leeds just have a throw-in on the left-hand side. That apart from the opening part of the season where Villa couldn't even pick up a point, this is probably maybe your best chance to play Villa since August, September.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, obviously with all the European football that they played, they were bound to have some sort of not a wobble, but a few dodgy results every now and again. And that Newcastle one, they've also lost to Bournemouth at home in recent times. So Leeds will have come into this thinking, we could definitely get a result out of this one. We're talking about Leeds' form since the start of December. Only Manchester City and Man United have lost fewer Premier League games than Leeds. That's 2. And that's really impressive stuff from them. They've had 7 draws in that time, so they are really good at just not getting beat. It's about maybe turning some of those draws into winning performances, and that's probably just the next step for Leeds.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's the thing. There's long ball forward, Calvert-Lewin in an offside position. It's one of them, isn't it? Well, let's just play devil's advocate. Let's say he finishes 1-1. I don't think that's a bad result away to third place Aston Villa. But again, as you say, it just adds another draw, doesn't it, when you were leading? If you were maybe losing 1-0 and brought it back, that's a different story, isn't it? But Leeds, at the moment, they're not on the ball as Buendia's going forward into Rodgers. He really needs to get into the game himself, and Watkins to boot. That's great hold-up play, though. That should probably be a foul. It is. I think it was more just because of the consistent pulling on Watkins there by Strike. But again, all the free kicks that have been swung in, you probably just keep going. Yeah, put one in. You're probably not going to find your man in the middle. But I think again, Villa have just been a little bit overcomplicating things for me in this game, playing out from the back, the long balls as well. Watkins and Rodgers are 2 big strong players, but put them up against Rodon and Strike, that's difficult for any forward.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, they're such physical players. They know exactly their roles. They play with each other so much as well in the Championship. Built up a great connection. Again, Villa going for something off the training ground. A few passes before Luiz eventually swings it in, and once more straight out for a goal kick. He's had a really poor first half, I think, Douglas Luiz.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely terrible. I don't know why Mike Cash. I thought it was good to play Cash down the right hand side, whip it in quickly, try and catch Leeds, maybe sleep, a bit of movement in the middle. That could have worked, but nothing going their way. Still, as you said, possession 55% for Villa. They've controlled the game a little bit more, if you want to go with that. 2 shots, as Josh said earlier, not on target, but 7 for Leeds and 2 on target as well. And Gruev's, for example, that was off the mark, but that was very, very close to going in the back of the net. Darlow with the goal kick long. Leeds player goes down, I want to say maybe with a head injury. So there will just be a pause in play. He's a goal scorer stacked. Both, I believe it looks like it might have been even Luiz who went on with him, or maybe Mings. He just gets caught on the back of his head. He's all right to continue. It might be a bit of a stinger more than anything, if you will. Less than 6.5 minutes to go until half time, though. It's independent off-tube studio commentary. Aston Villa hosting Leeds, and Leeds lead thanks to a corker of a free kick from Anton Stagg just before the half-hour mark, or maybe even just on the half-hour mark, I should say. Captain Emi Martinez napping for a moment, and I'd definitely say Leeds deserve it. I know it's not a well-worked goal, it's just an incredible strike, but in the game Leeds have definitely been the better of the 2 sides. Strike with a long ball forward, looking for Aronson again. He just buzzes around like a really annoying bee, does the American. It's the best way I can put it. Long ball forward, cleared away by Cash off of Aronson. But what you said right earlier is, I think we've all known, watching him, he's got that work rate about him. He never stops, but he's also put it together in terms of playmaking, goal scoring, technical ability. He's really put it all together as a nice package this season.
Yeah, I mean, the work rate was, and the attitude, I don't think has ever been in question with Brendan Aronson. It was just his sort of final product and actual ability at times that maybe have been frustrating for Leeds. Missing chances, getting pushed off the ball, his strength as well. Seems to have come back at a stronger player this season. I don't know if he's been in the gym quite a lot and just bulking himself up, but he looks a lot harder to shake off the ball than he did when we've seen him before. And that's all credit to him and his work ethic. Obviously for Daniel Farker for believing in him as well, and they're really seeing the rewards of it at the moment.
And at the moment, Leeds defensively, they're 1-0 up. I think they're quite happy to. They're certainly quite a 5-4 out there at the moment, with Aronson on the left, Gruev and Amper doing the 2 holding midfielder roles, and then Stack on the right. But then when they attack, they're quite much in that 3-5-2. Aronson looks to play to Calvert-Lewin to hold it up, but he's well held by Konza. It's been a good battle between Dominic Calvert-Lewin and either Mings or Konza. They've not. I think Calvert-Lewin definitely has had the better of the two so far, but they haven't been outclassed that much. But I think it's the runs in behind that Calvert-Lewin makes, just because he's such a great talent in terms of his physical abilities, and now that he plays. Cash swings the ball into the front post for Watkins. Was that cleared away off the Leeds man last? Rodon was there. I think he gets a kick for his worries as well, just with Watkins trying to go for the strikes. That'll be a sore one for the Welsh defender. But once again, it's a decent cross from Matty Cash.
Yeah, really good ball, and he's looking a threat, isn't he, at the moment, Matty Cash? Probably an argument to say he's been Villa's best player this season. He's proven it in this game. Some of these deliveries from the right causing real problems for Leeds. They're just about dealing with it. Rodon is having a great game actually at the back for Leeds. But yeah, if Cash keeps up with these deliveries, it's only a matter of time before you think, you know, Ollie Watkins gets on the end of it and puts one in.
Rodgers has got a couple of options, as we say. Bailey will swing this one in. That's much better. Darlow comes to claim, punched it wide for another corner. I think that's good goalkeeping from Darlow. He's got to come through that many bodies, but that is also a much better delivery.
Yeah, that's exactly on the money, isn't it, from Leon Bailey? It's the exact sort of set piece where they've been wanting to take the entire game, right towards the back post. Lots of pace on it. It's tough for Leeds to defend. I think Darlow does the best he can with that one. He's not going to claim it and gather it up in that sort of position. Just punches it on its other way through. Good goalkeeping.
Big corner from the other side. Douglas Luiz, we both mentioned, hasn't been at his best with corner kicks so far. Flicked in at the front post. There's no one there to nod it back on. Once again, much better from Aston Villa from a set piece point of view. It's cleared away only as far as Martin. Back to Luiz. Ball into the box. That wasn't the worst, but again, not the best really. And it is easy catching practice for Darlow, who quickly rolls it out. Bowls it to Goodmanson. Into Stack. He'll look to spread the play, looking for maybe Calvert-Lewin. Header up in the air there from Wendy, and nearly tumbles over on his head, but does well to keep his balance. Now here come Villa with Leon Bailey, striker goal. You know what he's always wanting to do, wants to open up his left peg. I think he does really well to do that. Great overlapping run from Rodgers, but unfortunately he's trying to curl it into the bottom corner. He gets it curled too close to the goal, if you will, and curls it into the arms of Darlow. Much better from Villa, but an easy save.
Yeah, Goodmanson just gets caught out, doesn't he, for Leeds? He's too far up the pitch, then Villa are in down the right. It's good positive play from Leon Bailey. Again, it's always obvious what he wants to do in that position. Maybe it's a little bit selfish and greedy from him, and if he does, you know, when you take that shot, you've got to get it right. Doesn't quite bend it as much as he wants to. It's a tough one in the end for Darlow because it bounces right before him. Could have been an awkward one, and Watkins is about there to follow it up, but yeah, it just gathers it really nicely in the end, the Welshman.
That's one of them where that could have ended up in the top corner, and he curls it beautifully, or into the bottom corner, or it goes right into the arms of the goalkeeper, as it did. Last few moments and last few minutes of the first half. It is Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1, and they've just been caught there. Have Villa. Here come the visitors. Ball on the right hand side. The goal scorer Staff into the box just behind Calvert-Lewin. The former Toffee forward just tries to get a flick on it, can't do that. Villa trying to play out from the back to do well to move through the gears. Left hand side Martin looks to dink it forward. Defended well on the right side by Bogle and by Justin. He's been absolutely excellent. Justin, we haven't mentioned him in all the best ways. It's like a defensive midfielder that you don't mention, but that's in all the best ways. He's not made any mistakes. He's defended well. He's come forward and supported Bogle. And again, Calvert-Lewin, Justin was a free transfer, I believe, free agent. That just because Calvert-Lewin was, in terms of just he's gone under the radar for me for signings. I mean, Calvert-Lewin's been absolutely superb, but Justin as well deserves a mention. Here come Villa though, finally opening them up. Watkins, possible hints of offside, gets the ball caught underneath his feet though, gets the shot off. But that's what Villa need to do more. But the problem is, it's taken 44 minutes to do so. Yeah,
it has done. You know, pretty much at the end of the half. I think he might just be about offside. It's really tight with him and Rodon. It's good defending actually though from the Welshman. Just about gets back. He puts him off in the end. But yeah, you are right with James Justin. I mean, it was one of the more unflashiest signings that Leeds made in the summer. I think maybe because it was from a Leicester team that had been relegated as well. Justin, of course, is still a former England international, and you know, has played at a high level before for Leicester. So if we did go under the radar, he's just been able to head the ball up behind him there. It's going to go out for a corner. Imagine this might be the last chance of the half.
You'd have to think so. I think Justin saying he was offside was Watkins, so would it not have been offside? But that's why unfortunately you kind of take the risk of, well, leave it then, and he would have been offside, where you head it, well, he's never getting the ball, so it does have to be given as a corner. Quickly doubling their lead, Brighton, and the G-Tech. Nico Gomez with the first one, and then Danny Welbeck in stoppage time means the Seagulls are going to have a 2-0 lead against the Bees. Chelsea still hold a 1-0 lead thanks to Jean Pedro's early opener against Burnley, and here a Stack screamer gives the Whites the lead. Ball swung in at the front post by Luiz, headed away. Good run there though by Watkins. It's kept alive on the edge. Is that a foul? 2 players have gone down, so I think the referee might just let play continue. Both back to the feet now. Luiz swings one into the back six. That's not a bad one. Mings onto Onana. Great save by Caldalo. And then he pushes it away. Ampadu with the clearance. What 1 minute of stoppage time, 30 seconds of that. That was a massive chance for Villa.
That was a huge chance right at the end there for Villa. I'm not sure how this ball's not ended up in the back of the net. It's such a big chance. It's a great header on from Mings. And Onana just arrives around the back. Darlow comes out to it and gets a big stop on it in the end. Could have been a perfect time to score for Villa, just couldn't manage it, and then it doesn't fall for Watkins. They're still coming forward though.
Cash on the right hand side. This is a good ending for Villa. Ball into the box. Another slip though from the full-back. It's kept alive by Watkins, and Bogle just going to put his boot through it, and that should see us into half-time. Great end to the first half for Villa, but they did struggle for most of it. But Leeds on the stroke of the half-hour mark. What a strike from Anton Stack from a free kick. One of the goals of the season for the German. That's a half-time at Villa Park. It's Aston Villa 0, Leeds United 1.
Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Caldalo, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Caldalo, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Caldalo, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Caldalo, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Caldalo, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Caldalo, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Caldalo, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dahl, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dahl, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dahl, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dahl, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dahl, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dahl, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dahl, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dahl, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dahl, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dahl, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dalla, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dalla, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dalla, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dalla, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dalla, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dalla, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dalla, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dalla, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dalla, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. Villa have hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Dalla, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Emi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. They've hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Darlow, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. They've hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Darlow, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. They've hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Darlow, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. They've hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Darlow, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. They've hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Darlow, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. They've hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Darlow, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. He beat Naomi Martinez from around 30 yards out. Martinez caught off his line. Villa are lucky, to be honest, not to be more down in this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a big chance before that. They've hit back right towards the end. Onana forcing a great save out of Carl Darlow, but Leeds have just about hung on for the end of the half, and going into the second, it's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 1. Half-time at Villa Park, and Leeds United lead Aston Villa by a single goal to nil after the first 45 minutes. They lead thanks to an absolute screamer of a free kick from German midfielder.
Well, it's a very warm welcome back to this independent unofficial off-tube studio commentary. We're just about ready to get back underway at Villa Park. It's Aston Villa 0, Leeds United 1. Daniel Farke's side leading in this game thanks to an absolute wonder free kick from German midfielder Anton Stack. An absolute pearler, really. Caught Martinez out about 30 yards from goal. His third direct free kick goal of the season, and it's well, a goal worthy of winning any game. If it is to secure all 3 points for Leeds in this one, it's thoroughly deserved. It's been good for the most of that half as well. Could have been 2-0 up, had some decent chances. Calvert-Lewin as well, missing one actually before the goal. Villa towards the end really did start to turn the screw, and Onana missing a big chance. Trying a good save from Carl Darlow, though, in all fairness. We are finally underway for the second half at Villa Park. There was a slight delay as the linesman was having some of his equipment sorted out, but we are back underway now. It's Villa getting us underway in this one, this time playing from right to left for the second half. They're in the usual, of course, claret and blue shirts, white socks, blue sort of blue socks, a bit more lighter. Leeds in their unfamiliar third kit this time. It's black, got a little bit of blue and yellow on it though. And there's actually been a change at the break. It's for the away side. Gabriel Goodmanson has come off in place of Xhaka Biol. I'm not sure if that's due to an injury or a tactical change from Daniel Farke. It makes sense to have Biol on the pitch. Could be a chance for Buendia right at the start, and he blazes it wide. It's a good start to the half though from Aston Villa. But yeah, just to confirm that, Justin will move over towards the left side. I imagine Biol now into the heart of defence. It is still myself, Joshua Making. Alongside me is Lewis Raftery taking you through this one, and Emiliano Buendia not far away from getting Villa level.
just slices it a little bit, doesn't he? I mean, maybe Darlow would have had it covered watching it back, but my word, if it's that sweetly, there's maybe a problem there. I think for Leeds, we were speaking at half-time, and Leeds were fantastic in that first half, but the last maybe 5 minutes or so, Villa crept into a bit of chances. Big chance for Onana with almost the last kick of the game. Good start then from Buendia. We've seen how many times Leeds have turned wins into draws. Again, that'd be a great result. I don't want to knock that. It's just saying to be up, you'd be disappointed. But Villa were very disappointing in that first half, so they need to bounce back. But look, if Leeds can grab a second, I think it would be difficult for Villa, but what a 3 points it would be. But I think we're in for a really interesting, even cagey second half.
Yeah, we certainly are. Leeds at times this season have been it's not been their Achilles heel as seeing out results. They've gone in front so many times in this season. In the reverse fixture actually at Ellen Road, Leeds went 1-0 up in the first half thanks to a goal from Lucas Metch before Villa battled back. Goal from Morgan Rogers in that game. Fantastic free kick from him. He's not really been in the game though so far. We'll just go through lineups again just to confirm. No changes for Villa at the break, so it's still Martinez in goal. Back for Cash, Conser, Mings and Matson. Onana and Louise in the midfield with Bailey, Rogers and Buendia in behind Watkins, who's the sole starting striker for Leeds. It's now Darlow in goal. Back three, we believe, of Strauch, Rodent and Beale. Bogle out on the right, Justin on the left, with a midfield then of Gruev, Ampadu and Stack, with Aronson and Calvert-Lewin as the two forward attackers. Leeds just had a throw in there a moment ago, but Villa won it back. There's a poor pass in the middle from Strauch. It just allows Villa to break again now, just on this left-hand side. A few goals going in the Championship at the start of the second half. Portsmouth have found a goal in that game against Millwall. A bit of a shock on the cards maybe at the Den. Southampton leading 1-0 against Charlton at St Mary's, and a topsy-turvy game going on in North Wales. Wrexham have been leading twice against Ipswich Town, but Ipswich have turned it around. It's now 3-2, only on the 48th minute in that game, so a cracker at the racecourse ground. Villa trying to make progress down that right wing. It comes off of Gruev lasting out for a throw-in. They take it quickly through Cash. It's Onana who picks it up. Now for Conser. This is where we expect the majority of the second half to be played, really, just on the edge of Leeds' penalty area as they try and defend it. Onana now across towards Conser. And then for Cash as well. It's patient build up from Aston Villa. Cash goes round Aronson, he's still going as well. Great play from him. Onana in space on the edge now, trying to line up the shot maybe. I'm not sure what he's actually trying in the end, whether he's trying to thread the ball through. Either way, it's a dead ball.
Yeah, maybe just caught in two minds of wanting to dink that ball through or unleash a striker goal, as you say. But you are right, you'll think that Leeds will be sitting back, making it difficult for Villa. Villa looking to come forward, but then there's not that much space in behind, is there? So you might even see Villa, I think, drop a little bit further back, trying to play it out to tease Leeds into a press. And look, it could come down to the bench. Don't have as many attacking options to Villa as they would like with a few injuries, but you look at someone like a Tammy Abraham, he could come on and be a massive, him and maybe Watkins as a two up front, or you sacrifice the defender and bring him on. Sancho's a creative force as well, but here come Villa with Bailey.
Yeah, he's making progress before he's stopped in his tracks by Ampadu. There's no foul given for it as well, so Leeds still have it. He's played it down the left channel. Calvert-Lewin might have been in an offside position. Doesn't really matter because Mings has mopped it up nicely and found the pass back towards Martinez. 5 minutes gone now though in the second half between Aston Villa and Leeds. It's still 1-0 to the away side. Villa have come out well though in this second half. It's now time for Leeds to have some possession though. Quite an interesting point as well. If it does remain 1-0 right up until the end, no side in the Premier League this season has conceded more 90th minute goals than Leeds, so that will be a worry for them if they manage to hang on to this lead and then start really being sort of being thrown the kitchen sink at them really. So we'll see how that goes. Calvert-Lewin in an offside position there. Concert bringing it forward slowly up towards the halfway line. Cash has gone just down that right channel. Leeds haven't got across to him yet before Justin does really well to intercept it. Hooks it back down the line. Calvert-Lewin as well gets a touch ahead of Concert. He's away down this left wing. Still going Calvert-Lewin. He's just waiting for reinforcements to arrive. They come in the form of Ilya Gruev. Now for Calvert-Lewin again. Ampadu waiting in the centre. Leeds slowing it down as you might expect them to do so. Just trying to wind down the clock. But yeah, start to his second half. Villa have done well, but Leeds, well, I was just about to praise them for keeping hold of the ball before Beale just spreads it out for a throw-in.
Yeah, that's one of his first passes as well. It was a difficult one anyway, so you've got to get used to the pace of the game, haven't you, as a substitute. Look, he's had 10-15 minutes at half-time to have a few words, but maybe not warmed up, if you will. wasn't, for example, training at half-time. You're more taking on some tactics, aren't you? The thing as well with Justin is he's more of a defensive wing-back, isn't he? I'll bring that back in a moment as here come Villa with Buendia.
Yeah, great challenge from Bior, but Buendia still hangs on to it. Out towards Maatsen on this left side, up against Jayden Bogle. Maatsen still going, trying to get around the outside. He almost digs out the cross. Bogle blocks it. Maatsen's trying to let it go out for a corner. Bogle's done really well just to shrug off the challenge. Not the greatest clearance though, and Louise can pick it up. Stack beats Buendia in a physical mismatch. So Bogle now is holding it up under pressure from Maatsen. He goes down as well. Leeds want a free kick. They're not going to get it. Referee says continue. It was Michael Oliver, by the way, for today's game. It's a throw-in for Villa, taken by Maatsen out towards Louise. Now Buendia by the touchline. Back now for Louise. Pace should build up again from Aston Villa. They know they've got plenty of time still left on their side in this match. It is now with Cash. He hooks it into the area where Bailey is waiting. The Leeds want an offside. It's not given as Bailey hangs on to it for now. Over towards Cash. Takes it out towards the outside. Now back towards Leon Bailey. He'll go for the cross. It's deflected. Might fall nicely for Mings on the edge. He gets past the challenge of Calvert-Lewin. Great tackle though by Ethan Ampadu. Great of them with the proper clearance. That Conser will mop up almost a marauding run there from Mings straight into the box.
Yeah, that was lovely from Mings. Might just be a pause in play. Ampadu's gone down. Don't know if he's just caught from Mings because he's a great tackle or there's a collision of knees. Mings is down but just about to get back to his feet as well. But he did well to get there in front of Calvert-Lewin. And then he tries to go past Ampadu. It's just a collision of knees, isn't it? It's a bit of a sore one. And it looks like as well, because both feet are planted as well from the players, it's even more of a rock-solid collision, if you will. So Ampadu as well, but Mings is a great player, but Mings is already back to his feet. Ampadu is such the skipper for Leeds as well, so importantly, just that roll in front of the back three. He sits there so well, but he can get forward and get back. He's a fantastic player. I mean, this pause in play means we get a chance to watch Anton Stack's fantastic free kick back as well. But there is just this pause in play. But the second half, again, it's Leeds are just almost saying to Villa, yeah, come on, come at us, try and create something, let's see what you can do. It's just the longer it gets, as you said, you were spot on there, that, look, right now, you've got basically the whole of the second half. If it's 1-0 at 70 minutes, you've got 20 minutes there, and it becomes a bit more urgent, doesn't it? So it's just the longer it stays 1-0, the more frustrating it might be for Villa.
Yeah, certainly might get like that. Good news though for Leeds fans. Ethan Ampadu is back up to his feet and now walking off, so we'll see if he's able just to keep going. He's walking and not putting too much weight on it though at the moment, the Leeds United skipper. And what a player he has been though for Leeds this season, arriving a few seasons ago now back in the Championship, helped them get promoted, and he's just stepped up a level. One of the players that you mentioned, Lewis, about, you know, coming from the Championship and being able to get up to that level. He's been absolutely sensational. Leeds will be hoping that he's okay to continue. The game is back underway with Leeds playing for 10 men for the time being. Ampadu is moving a lot better though over on the touchline, just waiting to get the go ahead from Michael Oliver to come back onto the field as Villa still attack. Now with Bailey up against Justin. Now left footed, Cash on the edge of the area in space. Ampadu still not back on the pitch for the time being. Bailey goes around the outside of Justin, who slides in really well, gives away the corner. It's good defending though again from the former Leicester City fullback. Ampadu is now back on the pitch, so Leeds will be able to defend this set piece with 11 men. Another goal in the Championship in that game at the Den. It's 1-0, Portsmouth 2. A really surprising result on the cards there. Millwall in third before kick-off today, and looking like they might be searched for the playoffs, but might be being set back there by the team from the South Coast. Villa now going to get this corner though, the in-swinger to come in from Leon Bailey. It's high and looping towards the back post this time. Maatsen's arriving, it's headed down by Conser. Bogle beats Mings to it, and can Leeds get away now? Stack chests it down really nicely. Got plenty of Villa players around him, and he just draws the foul in the end from Mings. Brilliant from Stack. Bit of an underrated part of his game really, how good he is with his dribbling. He's a big player, you wouldn't really expect it, but great from him there.
No, really good, and you know exactly what he wanted to do. If he could find a quick pass, he wanted to find one, but the ball never really fell for him, but he did carry it really well. As you say, it's the lightest of touches, but I do not blame him for going down one bit, because they were chomping at his heels with the Aston Villa players there, just trying to stop that counter-attack on. Looks like Leeds are going to go long as well from this free kick, so an opportunity just to, if anything, get out of their own half and put it in Villa's.
Yeah, certainly. Ardolo sends it long. Calvert-Lewin wins the header. He's gone down under a challenge from Onana. It's going to be a Leeds throw-in though. We are past 10 minutes in this second half, and Leeds one goal lead remains intact for the time being. Bit of pressure at the start of this half from Aston Villa, but the Whites have done well so far just to weather it, and this is a a situation they'll really fancy. It's an Ethan Ampadu long throw, and they've got the likes of Stack, Beale, Calvert-Lewin in the area. This could be danger for Aston Villa if they can't defend this one properly. And it comes from Ampadu. Once again, high looping towards the near post. Not the greatest one as Mings gets it clear. Back out though for yet another throw in. This one's even closer. It's actually in line with the 18-yard box. It's got to be a better delivery though this time from Ethan Ampadu, who is moving fine after taking that injury just a few moments ago. I'm sure Daniel Farke will be very relieved to hear that. But Ampadu sends it in. This time it's a bit more pace. Beale's in there. He's headed it on as well. It's away though by Mings. Out towards Bogle, who go from range. It's taken a block on its way through, I think, off of a Leeds player. So that will be an offside. And in the end, Leeds can't really yield a major chance out of that.
Unfortunately, but that was, as you said, a great flick on there from Beale. It's just, well, first of all, I think well defended by Villa. Second of all, there was just no Leeds player in that area. If he flicks it on and there's Calvert-Lewin, anyone there really, just either nod it at least on target, don't they? Ball forward for Bailey, too much on it. Might have even been offside as well. The man coming back on loan at Rome. Didn't have the greatest of times in Italy, of course, did he? It's not like, no offence, he lit the world up in the Stadio Olimpico, then he's coming back. He's coming back as almost a player out of form. Looks like Ross Barkley's going to be ready to come on as well. And I mean, we spoke about Douglas Luiz. I know he's not played that much football this year, so I think he's still almost getting a bit of the rustiness off, if I'm honest, of it out of his play. Didn't play that much for Forest, didn't play that much for Juve as well, so the last 2 years he hasn't played that much, but he hasn't looked up to scratch this afternoon, so I could see Barkley coming on in place of him, and then him and Onana as the two sitters and pushing up, of course. Yeah,
another attacking player on the pitch for Unai Emery. Actually, I have a stint at Leeds United, did Ross Barkley a long time ago. He only made a handful of appearances on a loan spell, back when Leeds were in the Championship. He's coming up to face his former side for the time being, but Villa have this free kick. They've taken it short from Luiz to Buendia, then eventually countering out towards Cash over on the right. Plenty of Leeds shirts in the way of him though. He's been shown the other way. Aronson thinking about maybe dispossessing him. He can't do it in the end. Now driving forward is Rodgers. He's fallen over on it though, might be fortuitously. Great tackle from Beale on Luiz, who stayed down. Michael Oliver then gets in the way of it. Not sure who this is going to go the way of, to be honest. I mean, probably Aston Villa. Rodden's down now with an injury as well, and it's been quite a stop-start game, hasn't it, really, in the second half?
Yeah, and I think that suits Leeds down to the ground, because Villa want to get a bit of momentum behind them, don't they, to get one and go get two. I think that's unfortunate. I know it's a great tackle from Rodon, but they just both get caught, really, don't they, together. He wins the ball, but then it kind of, Watkins twists his ankle as he goes down, and I think Rodon just gets caught under the weight of Watkins as well, so hopefully both players there. But you are right, a lot of stop-start free kicks. There's no flow to the second half, but Leeds will be happy with that. Villa want that flow, they want a bit of a momentum, and at the moment they're struggling to get that. Yeah, it just allows them to sort of wind down the clock, doesn't it, as well. Leeds, Ampadu's done really well there in the challenge on Luiz, who wants a free kick, not going to get it though. Gruev gets cornered by two Villa players who take the ball back off him. It's set now with Cash as we approach the hour mark at Villa Park. Still 1-0 though to Leeds. Concert inside his own box under pressure from Calvert-Lewin, finds Martinez, now over towards Tyrone Mings. Leeds have got them penned in though for the time being before Matson plays a good ball down the left. It's taken nicely as well by Ollie Watkins, who finds the ball for Onana. Plenty of space now for Villa. They've beaten the Leeds press. Can they get the attack on and maybe get a big chance out of it? It's Bailey on the edge of the box now on that left foot, trying to cut inside. Leeds just stepping away with him in the end. It's great defending from Gruev and Justin combined. Aronson is now going to try and progress the ball up the pitch for Leeds. Ampadu's making the run into the centre, who receives it as well. Over towards Justin. This is a decent attack from Leeds, who still have the ball. Watkins is racing back though again to try and win it off of Aronson. Still going though, the American. Turning back the other way. Leeds might just settle for some possession in the end. They will do. Aronson plays it off the Villa man and out for a throw-in. And yeah, in the end, got pretty open there for a second. Might not be expecting that with how the game's going, but it did. Villa are actually going to ready a double change. Leo Bailey is going to make way for Jadon Sancho. And then, as you were mentioning, Ross Barkley is getting ready to come on. I'm not sure who that's in place of. We'll confirm once we see it from the broadcasters. I think it's Amadou Onana actually, who's going to be coming off. So the double date change there for Villa, and Unai Emery clearly not happy with the start they've made in the second half. Yeah, the Sancho one doesn't shock me, if I'm honest, because what Leon Bailey just did there is what you've described multiple times. You know exactly where he wants to go. If it's 1v1, yeah, you can jink and go right, go left, can't you? But as soon as Gruev came over, he cut inside and Gruev just stood there and he ran into Gruev. Sancho, yes, right-footed on the right, but he will go left, will go right, a bit more, less pacey than Bailey, but I'd say more trickier, and I'd say definitely that's a better end product as well. He's a very creative player, the young one, Red Devil. Onana coming off, that does shock me a little bit. I thought it would have been Douglas Luiz. Foul there on Buendia, and I believe that'll be our first yellow card of the game as well, going to the Leeds defender. Just waiting for confirmation of who it was. There was a lot of Leeds players there. Rodon was there, Biol was there. I want to say it's a substitute who goes through his man and brings him down. Ampadu does as well. I think the referee more brought in fingers. There were 2 or 3 fouls there, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's Biol that gives it to in the end. It looked like Michael Oliver was pointing at Xhaka Biol as he produced the card. Villa have got the game underway. This is good play as well. Sancho for his first 2 touches. Touch now for Barkley. Again, Leeds showing them the other way. Millwall have got one back in that game in the Championship against Portsmouth, so it's 2-1 there to the away side. Cross will come in from Villa. It's fired straight into Ethan Ampadu, and Leeds might get out as well here. Ampadu was charging forward up towards the halfway line. Can Leeds maybe deliver the sucker punch to Villa and score a second goal? They're still going over towards Stack in the centre, lets it run across him. Bogle joins up, tries to thread it through for Stack. It's a really ambitious pass, but it was never really on with the players in the way, and once again Michael Oliver then pointing for a free kick. That's one thing Villa have got to be wary of. Of course they are going to be attacking a lot in this second half, but they've just got to be careful that they don't leave themselves exposed.
100%, and of course Villa have made 2 changes now as well, looking to change the game. I know Leeds made one at half time with Biol coming on. Let's look at Leeds as well. One that I would look at is, Daniel James and Nonto, the pace they could have on the counter. I'm not saying take Calvert-Lewin off, but maybe you sacrifice him in terms of the pace that those 2 offer. I mean, of course, and keep him well, but Watkins, that was a lovely touch and turn, strikes out of range. But you've got to look at the bench and you go, Leeds have great counter-attacking options.
Yeah, Daniel James especially in a late stage of a game where the other team's been running so much, and then he comes on and he can just get on his back. That might be one that Daniel Farke chooses to utilise. He's been injured for a lot of the season, I think, hasn't he? The Welshman, so hasn't seen too much action in the Premier League. So he'll be looking to get on the pitch today and make a difference. Leeds have also got lots of Yaltanaka who can't even get a game at the moment. Fantastic is the Japanese international. Darlow sends the goal kick long downfield. It's good play from Villa. It's looped over as well. Strauss come way out of position, and there could be a chance now for Sancho. Maybe a 3-on-2 if they play it right. Sancho still going. His cross is deflected. It's into the head of Rodon, and then headed on by Stack on the edge of his own box. Villa will try and come again though. It's Mings out towards Maatsen over on this left-hand side. 64 minutes gone at Villa Park. Still Leeds 1, Aston Villa 0. Ball down the left channel. It's picked up by Morgan Rogers. He's been really quiet so far. Can he have an effect now? He's up towards the edge of the box. He lays it off. Leeds again just doing enough to get in the way of it. It's Stack this time. Ampadu tries to bring it away. He gets pushed by Buendia. Michael Oliver again not giving Leeds the benefit of the doubt. As Buendia takes charge now across towards Luiz, and eventually with Barkley in the centre. Worked over towards that right. Now it's Cash. Bailey. Cash concedes, keeps on going with his run. It's a good ball again from the Polish international. Ampadu with the clearance though this time. And once again it's going to be another Villa attack. It's just wave after wave at the moment. But saying that, they're still not really creating any major chances.
No, there's not really had been a one-on-one chance, have they? The Leeds have done well. Watkins trying to get in behind. Defended well by Justin, but here come Villa.
I mean, that looked like a free kick. They still kept going with Morgan Rogers, who then played the ball off of James Justin and out for a corner kick. I mean, I'll have to see it back. I thought there was a foul there on Justin, but not given in the end. We'll see the replay of it. Justin just gets in front of Watkins, who looks to drag him down. I mean, Leeds might be a little frustrated with that one if this goes in.
Yeah, I think you'd agree. I think as well, as you say, with his body, they've both got their arms around each other. They're linking arms almost, and Justin just does well to get his body in front. Corner will be swinging or taking short. Here come Villa.
Taken short towards the edge of the box by Sancho. Plays it back to Luiz. Ball into the centre again. Is headed away by Joe Rodon. Another Villa attack pending though as we pass 65 minutes at Villa Park. Barkley. He's looking to turn the other way. Leeds have got every man behind the ball, and they've got to do this for a long time yet as well. Buendia, edge of the area. Now across towards Ross Barkley. He plays it now. Sancho's found space on the right. Overlapping run from Cash. Leeds might be in trouble here. Could be fall for Tyrone Mings. Shot is blocked again. Might fall for Barkley on the edge. Gruev with the clearance this time. It's going to be another Villa attack though. Leeds barely getting a chance to breathe as it stands. Portsmouth have restored their 2-goal cushion away at Millwall. Now 3-1 to them in that game. Charlton have levelled things up as the ball works its way to the right. Great ball in again. Mings is up there for it. He might have got the last touch there, and it goes all the way out for a throw-in, but Leeds really up against it.
Yeah, really being pressurised here by Unai Emery's side, but they're defending so well. And this is also where this 3-back becomes a 5-back, doesn't it? And it does become really hard to get through. What a block there from Stack, because watching that replay back, it looks like it's going on target from Mings, and I'd have probably backed that score in the back of it, because Darlow's probably not reaching it. So Stack, not also with a goal for Leeds, probably a block that would block a goal, so it almost feels like he scored 2 goals, if you will.
Yeah, 2 massive moments, isn't it, from Anton Stack in this game, and that's the only difference between the two sides, really. Maatsen, he's got on the back there of Aronson, but Leeds still continue. It's nice, falling nicely towards Gruev. Now Bogle will lob it down the right-hand side. Can Calvert-Lewin beat Conser in a foot race? This one he just about can't. The England defender gets there ahead of him, and then he takes the foul in the back as well. Wants that one all day long there. Does Ezri Conser. Calvert-Lewin just falling for it as Leeds look for a rare attack in this second half. It's now 3-3 between Wrexham and Ipswich, and an absolute thriller at the racecourse ground in the Championship. Meanwhile, Villa attacking again. Cash has space to work with on that right side. He's got support in the form of Sancho, who gets on it as well now. Sancho, edge of the area, just driving towards the byline, cuts it across. It's again taken away by Justin. Barkley gets there ahead of Gruev. Now for Buendia on the edge of his own, on the edge of the box. He takes it inside. Left-footed strike comes in off the post. Surely will be tapped in, and Villa have an equaliser. It's ruled out though for offside. Ollie Watkins seems to know that he's in an offside position there. Shot came in from Buendia. Darlow was beaten. It cannoned off the post, and Watkins taps it home, but the flag goes up.
What a strike from Buendia. He's got quite a similar one against Spurs away when they won 2-1. He does so well. I want to watch Watkins. Yeah, he's offside. Like you say, he knew it, didn't he? He wasn't turning around, celebrating, going, no, I am onside. He's close but well offside at the same time when you watch it back. Good decision from the linesman to put it up and not just go to a VAR. He made the right decision. And again, it's almost that Emery, you see him, don't you? You can see, because he knows that as soon as he saw Watkins go, I don't think he needs to look at the linesman. He knows he's offside there. It's a little bit unfortunate because Watkins, it's not like he's reaching to get there. He could have easily been onside and put it in the back of the net. Michael Oliver has just given a yellow card, but I'm not exactly sure to who.
I think it's to Carl Darlow, the Leeds United goalkeeper, maybe for a bit of time wasting. We were just seeing the replay, so we didn't know if the game was back underway or what yet. But no, Darlow has been shown a yellow card, so he's still got plenty of time left in this game as well to survive with that one, as Mings has it at the back. He'll go direct and long down the right side. It's a good touch from Justin just to head it away from Sancho. Out for a throw in though, in line with the 18-yard box, taken quickly. Rodgers now back towards Sancho. Barkley has space in the centre. Doesn't feel like we're far away from a Villa equaliser at the moment, as Mings now picks it up. He'll maraud towards the edge of the box, turns back onto his right, then finds Barkley. Barkley on his right foot around from Ampadu, who tries to line up the strike again. There's a wall of Leeds players in the way of it, and the block will be made. Sancho, edge of the box now. Buendia again tries to pass it through the lines. It's a good block from Stroud. Ampadu tries to take it clear. Grew has made a mistake. Buendia's onto this one as well, still going across towards the back post. It's just over everyone in the end. Gruev living really dangerously, and so are Leeds United at the moment. It's one-way traffic for Aston Villa. There could be a chance actually for Leeds. Before I hand over towards Lewis, it's Stack who then plays it off Maatsen. Leeds have got a throw in high up the pitch, exactly what they want to see. But with that, we have passed the 3-quarter mark of this game. Leeds still leading Villa by a goal to nil, under some heavy pressure though, and it will now be Lewis to take you through to full time.
Cheers, Josh. Yeah, what a game we've had here at Villa Park. We've had a world-class goal, and we've had some big chances in the second half of Villa, but I think, as you said, Leeds have done, even though defending a lot, I think they've done extremely well in that game, it has to be said. Just a quick update, of course, it's been such a great second half. I'll bring it up in a moment. Here come Leeds. Anton Stack with a strike, blocked away, falls back from him, nods it back into a dangerous area, no one there, easily intercepted there. Just an update in the Premier League, because as Josh said, it's been such a, we haven't had a breath, Leeds haven't had a breath, we haven't had a breath in this game. Chelsea leading 1-0 at Stamford Bridge, but there has been a red card, and it is for the Blues. So, at the moment, you'd have to say possibly Burnley might have the opportunity to come back in that game. We'll have to wait and see. Brighton are still 2-0 up as well, away at the G-Tech in the Premier League. But at the moment, as Josh just said a moment ago, it is the Whites. Leeds United who lead 1-0 here at Villa Park, but my word, it's been domination from Villa. They've got the ball on the right-hand side, and I think Sancho's come on and made a big difference. Ball into the feet of Watkins. Buendia back into Barkley. It's one of them where I do think the maybe trying to be a little bit too intricate with the passing, quick passing here, there, everywhere, that if it works, my word, has scored a great goal. But when Leeds are sitting off, you almost say, right, you've got no space in behind, those crosses are really hard. And although Leeds have defended for basically 25 minutes of the second half, they've defended excellently.
Yeah, they certainly have. I mean, I fully agree about Villa maybe overplaying it a little bit. The closest they've come is when Buendia has just picked the ball up and gone, right, instead of passing it, I'm just going to strike it and hope for the best, and they've hit the post, put the ball in the net as a result of it. Obviously, it was ruled out for an offside, but yeah, that's what they've got to do. You know, when there's that many players in the way of it, just have a go. You might get a deflection. It wrong foots Caldalo, then you know, that could go anywhere, and you could find yourselves back level and going on to win the game. But yeah, it's just a bit of overplaying for Villa. They've just got to stay patient, not run out of ideas, keep the creativity up, and you know, they should be fine. I think they will get an equaliser at some point. The pressure's too heavy, I think, for Leeds to resist for the full end of the second half. They are going to make a change over the next few minutes. Looks like it's Lucas Mecha who's roaming up on the sideline.
It depends on who's that for. Is it straight up for Calvert-Lewin? We'll have to wait and see. Ball forward. Buendia stretching for the ball, catches Biol there. It's a bit unlucky because it's nothing malicious from Buendia, but he does catch the Leeds United defender. I think for me, the referee's getting a yellow card. I think that's a little bit harsh, just because he takes every touch. He's going for the ball. I can understand because it's a late foul. But also, I feel a bit for the Argentine there because he's got all eyes on the ball. Yes, it's a nasty one, but you know he's taking that heavy touch and reaching for the ball. Yeah,
it's not malicious. He just sort of overextends himself, doesn't he? He ends up sort of putting the studs on Bill. I don't think it's a red card challenge and won't be looked at by VAR. It would be a little bit harsh. I think yellow is about right, though, for how sort of high up it is. And in the end, yeah, Leeds will survive that attack. But yeah, it's going to be Mecha coming on. It's Aronson off. So Leeds still playing with two up front.
Yeah, and you can imagine that also is possibly to add a bit more height defensively, set pieces going forward and defending. So it'll be more of a natural two, but I think as well that the Mecha and Calvert-Lewin's a good two up top, isn't it, realistically? I'd say that looks like Villa are about to make a change as well. We are back underway, so as Josh rightfully said, Aronson is off and on to the field comes the German Nemecha. Aston Villa is about to make a change, but Tammy Abraham will be coming on in a moment. We'll have to wait and see again. Is that for Watkins? Rodgers has been, I think, a little bit quiet this afternoon, but you know what he's good at. Ball forward into Bogle, onto the head of Nemecha. Saved well by Emi Martinez. What a ball from Bogle. Nemecha, that would have been his first touch of the game as well. I think he does as well as he can. I think it's great goalkeeping. What a moment if Leeds could have grabbed the second there. It's a beautiful ball from Bogle. Nemecha, could he have done better, or is it a world-class save?
I think it's a good save, but I think he's got to score there. Mecha, he puts it sort of central at Martinez. He's already going that way. It's the only possible place Martinez can save that header from going in. If he goes back across him, I don't think he can get over to it. Again, you're right with Bogle. Incredible cross. First time. He's had a few of those, and Leeds not far away from a second. In comes the throw-in.
The long throw falls for Gruev on the edge of the area, takes a few wicked deflections, falls back for Stack, who puts it into a dangerous area. Calvert-Lewin takes it down awkwardly and he puts it over the bar, but as Josh just said then, the flag has gone up, we do believe, so it would have been an offside position. I think Calvert-Lewin's asking maybe for a foul or for it to be looked at possibly. I'm not exactly sure there. Decent ball back in there from Stack, it has to be said. It was close, but it was definitely offside. Villa credits them, they got the line perfect, really, actually watching it back there. And it was unfortunate because the ball lost momentum for a header, so he has to kind of take it down, and then it's just awkward how it falls for him, really, isn't it? Buendia just recently yellow carded, he's going to go off for Tammy Abraham. Now I'm not, so it's more now 4-4-2, you would say, with Abraham up top with Watkins, and what I would say with the crosses that Villa are trying to put in, probably suits them.
Yeah, it does. I think it's puzzling to maybe take Buendia off, though. I think in a game like this where you're trying to break down the opposition defence, you need someone who can try and unlock defences and play those little passes and maybe dribble with it. I think Buendia was probably Villa's best player for doing that, and probably their best player in this game. He's been really good. Rodgers has not done really anything, has it, so far? So maybe a bit puzzling. It makes sense bringing Abraham on, but I think maybe for someone else would have made more sense.
No, I do agree. Calvert-Lewin's picked up inside the area, goes for a stab at goal. Unfortunately, it's awkward how he has to take it. He just has to stab it straight at goal, and he could have put Martinez off there to a degree, but it's well saved by the goalkeeper. But in the last couple of minutes, Leeds have had two. Definitely one big chance in the Mecha. That was a half chance, and probably call it. Ball played up to Watkins. He brought it down quite softly, but the referee does give the free kick. As Josh has mentioned a few times, the players for the highlights is in the Championship. Ipswich 4-3 now. Wrexham lead 4-3 against Ipswich, I should say. So what a game that's been there. What a thriller. We've had a thriller here at Villa Park. It's only the one goal, but it's been a great game as well. And yeah, speaking about it is, well, Rodgers, he's on the left, Sancho on the right, the two up top. I think for me, I'd have kept Buendia on. I probably would have sacrificed a Douglas Luiz, for example, and brought Abraham out. Good skill here from Sancho, cuts inside, back to Barkley, striker, goal, goes well wide, gets well underneath it. I think Sancho's come on. I've not been his biggest fan of his loans from Aston Villa or Chelsea, but I've been really impressed by him this afternoon. I do have to say, I think he's been lively. He looks back to a bit more of his old self, more confidence. I mean, I think he's been good for Villa this season, I have to say. But that's Barkley for me. Again, I'm not saying put it top corner, but I think he's got to test the keeper there.
Yeah, he does. It's a disappointing strike, isn't it, at the end from Barkley? You're right, Sancho with some lovely footwork, turns Gruev inside out and has him on the floor at the end of it. It's yeah, just unfortunate. Then Barkley can see exactly what he's trying to do. It suits him as well, a player like that in that situation, to just try and take it first time and aim for that far corner. It's what he wants, but yeah, way too much on it in the end. For a goal kick, which Leeds will be happy to see.
It's gone far for Darlow, nearly headed on by Calvert-Lewin, but it's knocked down to Konza. At the moment, Leeds United looking for a clean sheet as well. That'll be a massive bonus. At the moment, they will need to keep that clean sheet if they want all 3 points. Just over 12 minutes, I should say, left at Villa Park. It's Aston Villa 0, Leeds United 1. Anton Stack, screamer, the difference maker from a free kick. The second half's been all Villa. Forward to come once again. Sancho, that's a poor ball. That's on the money for Rodgers. That's a really good opportunity there. That's probably been the Sancho, we've been hyping him up there. It's probably the worst thing he's done since coming on about maybe 10-15 minutes ago, but he has been really lively there. Again, as you said about Buendia coming on, I really agree with you. I think Buendia has been fantastic. Maybe the yellow cards played a part of it, I don't know. But I'd have probably taken a Douglas Luiz off, thrown an extra body on, and said to Buendia, right, you can sit a little bit further back, still come forward, just to get that extra body on. But I mean, Tammy Abraham and Watkins up top, that'll be a good deadly duo, you'd have to say. Coming forward with Barkley, down to Mings on the left-hand side, looking to maybe drive forward. Further wide to Markson, down the left-hand side, ball into the box. Great defending from Bogle. And again, to say again, you're playing at wing-back, the likes of Bogle and Justin, they've been fantastic this afternoon for Leeds, attacking and defending as well. Markson, tricky ball to play through there to Abraham, but it's blocked to it and finds its way back to Rodgers. Markson down the line, taken down there by Bogle. The referee, that's got to be a yellow card there for the wing-back. But I thought, that, again, I know I was just praising him, but that's going to happen when you're 1-on-1, 2-on-1 against a Rodgers and Markson. I do think he needs a bit more help there.
Yeah, he does. He just gets doubled up on, doesn't it, with the overlap. Stack's not close enough. Bogle slides and completely takes out Markson. I'm not sure what he's really appealing for there, Jayden Bogle. It's a clear as day yellow card and foul, as you're going to see. And this is a real opportunity for Villa now. In this sort of position, it's close to the box. They could just maybe go for goal. It's going to be Cash to deliver it. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes straight for the goal. He might just choose to float it into the box instead of maybe have one of those big Villa players meet it. But it's a big moment now in the match.
It's his 5th yellow card of the season for Jayden Bogle. Again, when you are playing that right-back, wing-back role, you're just involved in so many tackles and battles that will add up there. As Josh said, it will be a delivery here. Markson is short, so they might go there. An option maybe to go 1-2. Again, we're now creative. Rodgers is right on the edge of the area. We'll see as the Leeds player marking him as well. Ball comes in, falls on the edge for Rodgers. Strike comes in on his weaker left boot. He wants a corner. I think it will be. It didn't look like it took a deflection for me, but I half-heartedly asking for a corner there. Decent delivery, and I think what maybe Rodgers on the edge of the area there for was, first of all, to maybe take a player's eyes off the box and more of, look, let's whip it in. If we score or create a chance, fair enough. But if Leeds head it away, it's probably going to go straight to Rodgers. Just doesn't fall on his stronger foot. Yeah, it's probably the player you want it to fall to the most there, isn't it? Morgan Rodgers to take the strike on. He can't quite get it right, though. It does take a deflection, but it's off of Tyrone Mings, so that's why it's giving us a dead ball in the end. But yeah, Villa not making the most of that set-piece opportunity. Leeds just about surviving still, you have to say. They could have easily scored more in this second half, Leeds, with those chances. That's why it's down now, and it's back to Villa being on top. Leeds are going to make a change, though. Sean Longstaff getting ready. I can imagine that's midfield row, get some fresh legs in there, can't you? Coming forward, Rodgers tries to play it to the left to Marks, and does that take a deflection? Bogle tries to keep it in play, does excellently does the wing back, it actually stays in play as well. Leeds has to nod it out, so that's all from Bogle. That's fantastic from the wing back. Look, Stack was pressing down well, so was Nemecha. That was excellent from Bogle, because a lot of players would have given up there, let it go out for a corner and get back in a defensive position. Longstaff coming on. Could you maybe imagine it's for possibly Calvert-Lewin to then go Nemecha up top and get a more solid midfield base, possibly?
I could definitely see it. They might want to keep Calvert-Lewin on just for his aerial ability, really. I mean, he's one of the best aerial players, I think, in the Premier League. He's so good at just hanging in the air for long periods of time and then winning the header. So they might choose to keep him on, but yeah, I could see it as well. Getting a striker off, having some more bodies in the midfield. Longstaff is great in situations like this as well. He'll constantly run, he'll work hard, and he'll make it hard for Villa.
He's been in this type of position as well, hasn't he? Very experienced. He former Magpies midfielder, Martin Rogers. Again, he's had a poor game, but as myself and Josh have said a few times, you just know that it could be the last kick of the game, he puts it in the top corner kind of thing. He's that type of player, isn't he? Barkley through the legs of Gruev. He goes down to his caught. I don't think he was caught personally, but wins a free kick, and less than 10 minutes to go. As you said, there's so much pressure here from Leeds. I think they've done excellently so far, but it's unfortunately, you do just think one chance will fall with that much pressure, as you said.
Yeah, they will, and we've already mentioned about, this is what happens when you sit back against teams like this who have that quality. You are probably going to get punished at some point. It's not happened yet, but you could really easily see Villa getting a goal. If they get one as well in the next sort of 5 minutes, they'll probably go on and win the game. They'll have all the momentum with them. Home crowd as well, who'll be back up for it. So Leeds, they've just got to try and stay in this one. Rogers scored a free kick at the game in Ellen Road back in November. Can he do it again now?
Looks like to me it'll be a training ground set piece. Douglas Luiz plays it to Cash. He'll go for goal, and this isn't the Stadium of Light, this is Villa Park. He's gone actually from a quite similar distance. World-class strike against Sunderland, I think early on in the season. Douglas Luiz just is in front of the ball, plays it back to Cash. And again, he's a great player, but I'd rather just say to Rogers, you know what, step up for the free kick, have a go.
I can't really understand the thinking behind that free kick, because they just lay it off to the side. It's not any closer to the goal playing it that way. And then you've got it to Cash, who is good from that range, but then Leeds have got players rushing out to meet you. So I really don't understand the thinking with that set piece from Villa. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It's ended up in the stands. Leeds have made that change. Now it's actually Anton Stack that's come off in place of Sean Longstaff. Definitely a shout for man of the match. He's the difference maker at the moment. But yeah, Longstaff on for Stack.
Well, he's probably had the two biggest moments, as you said, of the game. First of all, the goal from that screamer from a free kick, and the block from Tyrone Mings. It wasn't a goal line block, but if he doesn't block it, if Tyrone Mings' shot's going in the back of the net. So he saved the goal and he scored a goal. So he's had a fantastic afternoon as the Leeds United midfielder. So as you said, they'll keep Calvert-Lewin on. We didn't think he would take. It wouldn't be a shock if he did or he didn't. It's just, how do you want to see this game out? I think Leeds have been fantastic in this second half. I think Villa again, to me, have overplayed it a little bit in terms of going. I think the best chance had when Buendia cut inside and went for a shot outside the area, because Leeds were more worried about a ball in behind, weren't they? I think they could have done that a good few times. Long throwing coming up here though for Leeds and Ampadu. They've had some good half chances, if you will, from these. Can they create that one really top one? Ampadu again, he's got a good long throwing in. It's a tall box for Leeds. Longstaff keeps it alive, takes a good first touch on the right hand side of the penalty area, dinks it in, it's blocked away by Martin, and then Leeds looking to hit on a counter. That's poor from Barkley, just trips up Rodon, and I actually think it's just a loss of concentration for a second, because Barkley just steps up, trips him up. I actually don't think he means it, but it is a free kick all day long. It's a slight little push as well. And it's to me, if I'm Unai Emery, I am really annoyed at that.
Yeah, I mean, that's so unneeded from Barkley. Rodon's not going anywhere. He's going back towards his own goal, and he's a centre-back in that position. He's not going to turn him with some great skill and then get round him and ping a ball into the top corner. So it's unneeded from Barkley. It's going to wind down the clock again for Leeds. I mean, even if they don't score, obviously they can just waste some more time and get closer towards the 90 minutes. They are going to take the free kick though with Longstaff.
Longstaff whips it in, it's a lovely ball. Rodon just gets underneath it. All the moment, that's a perfect pass. A lovely cross in from Longstaff. What I'm about to say, but Anton Stack is kicking himself that he's on the sidelines there not to go for there. But that was a lovely free kick there from Longstaff. Again, Rodon gets underneath it. Barkley trying to play out here for pressure. Leeds pressing high for the first time in quite a while. Again, Rodon should be doing better, getting underneath it, better jump. Should he have left it for a teammate? Well, what do you think?
I think he's right to go for it. It might have been an offside position as well, actually, as he goes for that. see from the replay, it wasn't that clear. But I think in that situation, you're always going to go for goal, aren't you? Unless someone's screaming at him from behind saying, I've got it, then he's not really to know. I think he's worth taking on, but now Villa are up the other end.
Down the right hand side with Cash. Again, this has been basically the second half of football. Cuts inside on Sancho. Lovely reverse pass to Cash. He slips as he puts the ball into the box. Leeds had a lot of bodies in the box, it has to be said, but Cash just couldn't keep his feet planted on the surface. And it's out for a goal kick for Leeds United. 86 minutes on the clock. It's Aston Villa 0, Leeds United 1. A stack screamer in the first half from a free kick, the difference maker. Seen a few pictures of Yuri Tielemans. Of course, he's picked up an injury. Kamara, I think Kamara's been a massive miss for Aston Villa, it has to be said. Going to be a last real throw of the dice here. Looks like a double change is coming up for Aston Villa. Definitely looks like Bogard is possibly coming on, as well as Andres Garcia. Definitely Garcia is coming on, but it'll be Cash and Luiz who are coming off, with Garcia as well as Bogard on as well. Again, it's fresh legs on Garcia, full back. He'll be quick up and down water just to make sure he's got a good delivery as well. Bogard has maybe just sit. Everyone else go forward. It's an opportunity. Villa, even though it's only 3 injuries, Tielemans, McGinn, Kamara, they're massive injuries for Aston Villa, but you're just going to roll with the dice, and I think the other players this afternoon just haven't stepped up. Rodgers, Watkins, Bailey. Sometimes when players like Tielemans, McGinn and Kamara down, Emery needs his rest of his squad to step up, and I don't think they have.
Yeah, you do. I mean, that's why Villa have got such a big investment into their squad. I'll break off though. Rodgers into the box.
Finally, teammate, ball into the box again. So many Leeds bodies there that, again, yes, Rodgers got past one, but Leeds are so well defensively drilled that there's too many bodies there corner.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's where you want Rodgers as well, and isn't it? Playing down the left, they've just got that overload. I'm a bit surprised actually seeing Matty Cash withdrawn. I think he's been Villa's best player this afternoon, really causing problems down the right side. Maybe they think that they're having some joy on the right. Let's get some fresh players on and really try and overrun Leeds. That might be the thinking, but Sancho will take this corner.
Opportunity to swing it in. It will be an in-swinger by Sancho, as Josh said. It's really deep, heads go up, and it's found its way into the back of the net. It looks like it's a substitute, Tammy Abraham, who has found the net for Aston Villa. Ball put into the back sticks by Sancho, heads went up. Looks like it was Konza who nodded it back into the 6-yard box, and Abraham there with a poacher's instinct of a finish. It's Aston Villa 1, Leeds 1, 2 minutes of the 90 to go. I mean, you've said it all half, Josh, that look, you can't sit back for the entire 45 and not expect Villa to at least get one. And now it's a question of, look, how much stoppage time are we going to get? Will Villa grab, they've got momentum, will they go grab a second? Will Leeds look to pounce back up? Leeds have put so much into this second half, their legs will be on empty almost.
Yeah, you're expecting Villa to go on and win the game now. It's brilliant from Konsu, who gets up there. And Abraham, striker's finish, isn't it really? I mean, Calvert-Lewin's on the line. He jumps as high as he can. He's put it in the only place that Calvert-Lewin can't reach it. Really unlucky for the Leeds striker not to clear that off the line, but we said it was going to happen, didn't we? That Leeds couldn't really manage it. They've done this so many times this season, going in the lead and not being able to see out results. It's the only reason they're not miles away from the relegation zone at this point. A big moment though for Tammy Abraham, of course, who instantly signed back for Villa, and what a moment that is. We'll see now who goes on to win it. Do Leeds push forward and get themselves back in front? They've looked capable of creating chances.
Yeah, coming forward now, long ball forward for Calvert-Lewin. He's gone down the deck. Aston Villa with Mings trying to play the way out of trouble. It's his first goal back in the league for Aston Villa. Of course, he scored his first goal for the Villains in that 3-1 loss to Newcastle last time out. So that's back-to-back games with back-to-back goals. Justin's gone down high up the field, so this will be a free kick for Leeds as well. They've put some good deliveries in, and this is where, again, to play devil's advocate, I know it's ifs and buts and maybes, that chance for Rodon, if he puts on the back of it 2-0, game's over. I know it's little things, but that's what Leeds maybe just haven't finished Villa off.
No, they haven't. I mean, we said it, didn't we? You need to get a second when you've got your good moments in games like this. At a championship level, it's fine, you might not be punished for it, but in the Premier League, against a team that it's probably going to be in the Champions League next season, you have got to take your chances in the second half. Mecha with that header as well, it's got to go in. From a Leeds perspective, it doesn't, and that's what's cost them in the end, and it's what might take all the points away from them. Big goal in Stamford Bridge though.
Looks like Burnley have got an equaliser as well. We'll bring an update on there. VAR usually does us over whenever we say about a goal, but for the moment, Burnley have got a late equaliser. Here's a late drama here. Driving forward is Ollie Watkins, bit between the teeth for Aston Villa, stabs it through. Jadon Bogle the engine on that man. He gets back, and now this game again opening up a little bit. 90 minutes have been played, 5 minutes to go. Will we find a winner? Big tackle there at the back by Gruev. Rodgers is incensed, he's absolutely furious. I can understand, but look, you know what Gruev's doing. He's not gone there to hurt Rodgers, he's gone to just foul him. And even the Leeds, even the Villa players are on the back. Bogle saying that, look mate, he's gone through, yeah, it's a yellow card. Again, I can understand Rodgers, but I'm also saying there, I don't see that outburst needed.
No, it wasn't really. I mean, Gruev doesn't mean anything by it. He's just trying to stop an attack for his team as Rodgers was in down the left. He can get annoyed all he wants, but he might just find himself in the book there, Morgan Rodgers. It's a clear yellow card from Ilya Gruev, who then stays down as a result of it as all the chaos erupts behind him. But yeah, you can just see, I think it's Bugatti, isn't it, who's just holding Rodgers back in the end. But yeah, another set piece chance now for Villa. Can they go on and win it?
As well, you know, and because as you say, he just tries to bring him down. Yellow card for Gruev. If that was like studs up or something like that, I could see you being absolutely furious because that looks like you're trying to really hurt your opponent. He just puts his leg across him, doesn't he, to bring him down and stop the attack. And I don't think there's something wrong with that, if I'm perfectly cynical as it gets. But you know what? That stops the attack. And look, if Leeds defend this well and hit a counter attack, Gruev will be praised. We have played about 90 seconds of the 5 minutes of stoppage time. Free kick opportunity for Aston Villa. Sancho to float one in. Heads will go up. Good punch away by Darlow. It will fall for Martson. No, it won't. Nemecha gets there first. Longstaff punts it away. Garcia will backtrack. Nemecha's all over him, and he does well to come away with the ball as well. Gets his head up. Longstaff's in the middle. He's the only supporting cast he's got. Ball into the box. Martson clears it only as far as Calvert-Lewin. He overruns it. And this game is a basketball game at the moment. Back and forth. Barkley driving forward. To his left, he's got Morgan Rodgers. A quiet game for the English winger, but could he turn up to be the man of the moment? Still on the ball. Back to Sancho. Edge of the area. Bogard, one of the substitutes late on. Back to Sancho. And the game's really open up there. And Nemecha did brilliantly there to win the ball. And I think his ball into Longstaff is not a bad one, but he needs more support there. Bring Josh in just a moment. Here come Villa with Sancho. Rodgers opens up. You can just tell he wants to go for a goal. Swings it to the right hand side. Garcia, decent ball in. Heads go up. Cleared away by Leeds. They look tired, but this could be a long 2 minutes for Leeds at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly could. I mean, it's one-way traffic again. Villa have just got away one actually down the other end. Leeds had them for a moment. Longstaff needs to just take the shot on the edge of the box. So Calvert-Lewin as well. They're trying to overplay it, doing what Villa have done for a lot of this second half, and they just run out of steam in the end. It's going to be a long 2 minutes, as you say. You imagine Villa will have all the possession, and they're in down that right side.
Looking for a winner. Could be a precious 3 points in that race for the top three. Looking to push away from the likes of Chelsea, who've now looking like they've dropped points at Stamford Bridge. Down the left-hand side to Martson, well headed away. Falls for Rodgers outside the area. Left-hand side to Sancho. Makes his way into the penalty area. Too many Leeds United bodies are there. Maybe one of the last big chances. Well defended there from Bogle. I think Sancho runs. I don't think Sancho's asking for the free kick. I just know Bogle's too big, too strong. Can't get past him. And for me, Bogle would have been my player of the matches. I think he's been excellent.
Yeah, he's been absolutely incredible as Jayden Bogle sums up the season he's having really for Leeds. Has barely put a foot wrong this season. He's unlucky not to have a really good assist as well. That Mecha should have put away. But yeah, great performance from him. He's done his job defensively. Got forward as well to help out. Him and Stack would probably be the standouts for it, of course, after his free kick. Yeah, into the final minute, and it's looking like it's going to finish level.
You might see it's a goal kick, as Josh says, for Leeds United. It's not on by Calvert-Lewin to Nemecha. He looks offside. The linesman flag has gone up. I think that's the thing you're almost waiting. Does the linesman pull his flag up or not? Of course, this draw does push Leeds United a little bit further away from the relegation zone. 2 points above Spurs and 4 above Forest. 7 points above West Ham. Doesn't push them above Palace, which would have been doing with a win and level on points with Fulham. Couldn't have the late drama here though. Ball forward. Missed by Mings. Falls for Barkley. Still coming forward with Rodgers. Back heel to the former Chelsea midfielder Barkley. Is he taken down there by Nemecha? I think it's a little bit sloppy from Nemecha. Again, it's one of them where I don't think they're fouls, but we see him given all the time. And this could be the last, well, it will be the last chance, but will it be the last drama of the game?
Well, it certainly should be. I mean, we're over the 5 minutes now, so you imagine this free kick will be taken, and then that will be it. Can Leeds hold on? You're right, it's just the striker getting back, isn't it? Trying to help out, and in the end, he's just pushed his man over. It's really unneedless from Lucas Mecha. There's so many Leeds players in the way. Villa aren't going anywhere with it. and Rodgers to take.
Rodgers floats it in. It's a decent delivery on the edge of the area. Sancho keeps it alive. There's no one there. They're wearing a jersey for Villa. Leeds clear their lines. There would have been a counter-attack on Martinez. Would have got there first, but that is full time. Leeds took the lead in the first half for an Anton Stack screamer of a free kick, but the second half it was all Aston Villa. Leeds had a really big chance with Nemecha coming on. Brilliant save though by Emi Martinez, but they couldn't hold on until the last minute. Nearing stoppage time, ball came in. Conza nodded it back into a dangerous area. Tammy Abraham just needed it in the back of the net, even over a leaping Calvert-Lewin in what Aston Villa have claimed a late goal to pick up a big point at Villa Park. Interesting game. It was one where Villa dominated the second half, but Leeds United put up way more than a fight. What a game it has been here this afternoon. But full time, Aston Villa 1, Leeds United 1.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck!